You want me to act surprised? I'm more interested in seeing how she'll actually be like. What she'll actually be like. You love the thumbnail for this first stream? Thanks. I had to actually like look it up. But I think that's most likely the kind of Makai we're about to get. We have roughly 5 minutes left, I guess. 5 more minutes before everything's out. Oh yeah, if mods have announced we're starting the Fate trailer, it should be out in like 4 minutes. It'd be really weird if it's not today because it's the 29th. But it's usually around this time where it comes out. Also, I'm kind of confused when people say like, you know, you can't have trailers on Sundays. Where did that come from? There have always been trailers on Sundays. I'm like, yeah, that's a bit weird. Hey, Roll Knight. You have hands, Nimious? Of course I have hands. No, I don't have hands. Hands are a mythical thing. Are we finally doing legendary staffs? No, it's a tome. It's going to be a tome. The thing is, it was a dead giveaway because the tome symbol was of Dane. So there aren't a lot of picks. And if they want to make money, it's going to be pretty obvious that they're going to go for Micaiah. So that's what everyone expects, just Micaiah. Is the avatar meant to look uncanny? Do you even know what uncanny means? Uncanny. Strange or mysterious, especially in an unsettling way. I don't know how I'm looking mysterious, but alright. Oh, I guess it could be Soniki. But the problem is Soniki is she's Benyon. She's of Benyon descent. So it'd be kind of weird for her to use a Dane staff, you know? It's going to be Micaiah, almost guaranteed. All right, we got like 1 minute before it comes out. I'm going to put you guys on silence for the next little bit. Please excuse me. Sorry, no spoilers. Also leave a like if you haven't already, or you can leave a like later. But just remember to leave a like because that helps the stream a lot. All right, but yeah, sorry. I'm going to put out members only because it's 1 minute or so from coming out. And then I'm gonna, yeah, I have to like download the video when it comes out. Oh, what a weekend. I'm exhausted. I mean, it's a legendary hero. A character like Athos would definitely be a mythic hero, so that wouldn't happen. Who was the first Tellius unit in Fae? First Tellius unit? Didn't they do them as a bunch? Wasn't there a Tellius banner when it first came out? All right, either way, it's coming out in a minute, so I'm gonna put it on members only mode. No spoilers, no spoilers. But yeah, I will be ready to download as soon as it comes out. We'll see who it is. Hey Anthony, hey Ping Pong, hey Cecilial Nut, hey No Anime. It's out. Cool. All right. Oh, that's actually pretty cute. All right. Okay, I'm downloading it. It's funny, we just watched the trailer for Genshin Impact, and now we're gonna do it for Fire Emblem Heroes. Yeah, this wasn't much of a surprise, was it? Oh, it was just too obvious. All right, well. All right, give it a sec to finish downloading. I don't know, for some reason, downloading has been slow today, but it's just about done. Man, it is. Do you guys like the data mine being like that going forward, where it just tells you who the heroes are going to be, the legendary heroes are going to be? I mean, I like data mines in that it tells you the stats and stuff, so you can get like an opinion of the character before it's released. But isn't this a bit much, where we just know who the heroes are? Either way, let's go. Oh crap, I just realized I never updated this version of it. That'll look kind of weird then. I could still run it, it's just would be a bit different. Yeah. I could just run it from this screen. It just doesn't fit as nicely. All right, we'll do it. We'll just do it that way. Bird Jesus, hey.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. All right, guys, we're gonna run it on the screen. I know it's a bit different. That definitely looks different. What should I put in the background in the game then? One sec, chat. Sorry. It looks really weird like that. You know, I'll leave it like this. It's not the worst, right? It's not the worst. Like that? I'll do it like that. I don't know. There's no way this is gonna look great. So I'll remember to like update the other screen later. So let's just start. Okay, our newest legendary hero. Let's go. Wait, I need to press play. So thanks to the new data mine, we have really good ideas going forward who the heroes were. And this month was especially simple because that book.
I am descended from Liran and Altina, and Misaha, the former apostle, was my grandmother.
She looks glorious, guys. But yes, we already knew it was going to be Micaiah because of the tome. The tome is a Dane tome. It has a symbol of Dane on it. And there was always this rendition. Oh my goodness. That is sick. Right, Legend of Makai is now a thing. So there was always cipher art of her in this version of herself. So it's nice to see that it's actually real now. And once again, yeah, she's colorless as expected. Wind. As for the rest of the banner, Naga returns. Sothis is here. Bracer is here. That's time supposed at least for Sothis. Edelgard's back. Lilna's here. Lilna's still kind of really obnoxious to deal with. Ingrid, Arena, Edelgard's here as well, I guess. The fallen heroes are basically here.
I wasn't paying attention
Both
to the
Morgans.
closely, but dang, if this is the case, that is a borderline leak.
It's borderline leak. I know. We already had a really good idea what's going on. All right, guys, give me a sec to free everybody. Hey, guys. How many of you guys were actually surprised by it being, well, Micaiah? So, I wasn't one of them. That's why my reaction was so tame. Because I've seen and known of this Micaiah for years.
Money, I need plus 10 of her.
Good luck, Alistar. I'm plus 10ing her. Plus 10ing legendary heroes is really rough. But yeah, we've known of like a potential Micaiah of this iteration forever now. And yeah, we've already had Micaiah as like in every other color as well. Well, in every color, actually. She's been literally every color. And because the new data mine gave us the leak and it was Dane's tome, there was only thing. It was a Dane tome. The only thing we can expect was Micaiah. So yeah, pretty plain. At the very least, just like crap, what was her name again? Goddess of Control. Yoon's other half. Why am I blanking on names right now? But just like her, she has like one of the dynamic animations, the really cool ones. Ashura, thanks. Sorry, for whatever reason I'm blanking out today. Either way, it's really hard not to pull now because they double stacked her color. You're telling me you can go for Micaiah and also have a chance at friggin' Edelgard? You're kidding me.
I'm always happy to see more hacking art. Seems good.
The art also looks really good. But yeah, this is going to be really hard not to pull on. That's just absurd. It's just way too absurd. Anyways, let's break down the hero real quick and then we'll talk about the banner more. The newest legendary, of course, is Micaiah, and I like this form of her very much. I've seen it in the Cypher Arts, as I said, but it just looks glorious. She looks so beautiful like this. And yeah, Hacken did a great job of her art. Infantry, Tome, colorless. She has New Dawn, which, like every Micaiah, is going to be effective against armor and Cafos. This is the hard part with Micaiah, is just like, how are you going to make Micaiah interesting? Because every one of them is going to be armor and cav effectiveness. How will you make this one stand out against the rest? That's what we're about to see. But yeah, as expected. Grants attack +3. If unit initiates combat, or if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack res +6 during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. So just like base Micaiah, auto doubles are pretty easy to do. If unit's HP is under 50%, whoa, and unit initiates combat, you can make a follow-up attack before folk and counterattack. Okay. It's funny how she's with Fallen Edelgard because she's basically designed to kill Fallen Edelgard once she's under 50% HP. Because she can attack twice, she'll break through, and she should have more speed than Edelgard. I mean, she has Edelgard. Fallen Edelgard has like sub 20 speed. It's bad. It's really bad. Micaiah should be able to double, in other words. So this is going to be very interesting. Wow. We just got Brave Erica, who's basically designed to kill Edelgard, and now we got another true option with Micaiah, as well as, of course, Byleth from earlier on. So these are like 3 really definite options. Though, just like Byleth, the problem is she's a legendary hero who has elements, so you can't always deploy her. Yeah, that's a bit wacky. Either way, that's really good. Especially under 50%, she's really going to perform that duty. If she's over 50%, though, it's going to be hard because she's probably going to get one-shotted. Anyways, unique assist skill. Maiden Solace. Converts penalties on target into bonuses and then neutralizes any penalty that remains. Okay, so she came with Sacrifice before. And isn't that just Sacrifice? That's just Sacrifice, right? So we can see 2 ways she gets herself in under 50%. Maiden Solace and Fury 4.
Most of us are fresh out of orbs after Soul 5.
Yeah.
So even if we wanted to pull some of us, can't we? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of harsh. But didn't Sacrifice also get rid of your, like, penalties? Okay. Anyways, so that's Maiden Solace. It's going to be a good skill. Just like Sacrifice, it's going to be automatically worth keeping. Anyways, also there's also Fury 4, attack speed, defense res +4. Everyone already knows how that goes. I'm like, I get it, right? You want to knock her under 50% so she's fully enabled and can't be hit. But man, Fury 4, does Fury 4 even seem like a good A skill to you guys anymore? Like, only really few heroes really utilize it well. You definitely need a skill or something in your set that really needs you to drop your HP down. Or it sets up for like specific teams like Wings of Mercy teams. But yeah, Fury 4 is generally speaking kind of more of a subpar A skill nowadays. It feels really lackluster. I mean, with Surge Sparrow out, for example, like, you got obnoxiously good A skills nowadays. All right, with that said, there's also Prescience. Prescience? I bet I butchered that. Prescience inflicts attack res -5 on foe during combat. If unit initiates combat or if foe's range goes 2, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%. So that reminds me, wow, she's really just a mishmash of all the Mikai's, isn't she, guys? So base Mikai's refined gave her auto doubles, and she basically has that. Base Mikai also gets attack res +5, I believe. So just like base Mikai with her tome, in other words, but has a tacked on ability to attack twice before counterattack if under 50%. And then the Prescience thing is a lot like, I guess, kind of like Brave Mikai in a way. Not essentially. Brave Mikai is a debuff. I mean, it's a sabotage skill, but this is in combat. And then it also has the damage reduction of base Micaiah in a way, but it's for all attacks from foes range equals 2. And I guess there's also Joint Distant Guard now, which is a new skill. Grants defense res +4 to allies within 2 spaces during combat against bow, dagger, magic, or staff foes. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally and foe uses bow, dagger, magic, or staff, it grants defense res +4 to unit during combat. Oh wow. That's really good, guys. That's really freaking good. That is way better than like Joint Drive Res or Joint Drive Defense. Now, I know it's not for all combats, but generally speaking, you only need to worry about one type of combat. It's either up close or up at far. So to have Joint Distant Guard, that's just free defense res +4 to yourself and your allies. It's hard to say this is a bad hero because she's actually really, really well put together. Really good assist skill, of course. Fury setting up the New Dawn. New Dawn's so effective against armor and calves. Attack res +6 pretty easily, as well as ability to attack back to double without a counterattack. Now, that gets shut down by Nullfall and heroes that have Nullfall-like skills, but still, that's really good in general. I mean, anyone who's used Micaiah, base Micaiah, at this point knows how good Micaiah is. And then Prescience, just for a bit more punch and a bit more survivability, as well as, just those two things put together. That's a really good B skill. So you put all that together, she's a really good unit. Huh. Because she's also a legend hero, she's going to score very well. Did it say she's going to score at 185? I wonder what she's going to score as, because that's one of the things that we were wondering about the Brave, going into the Brave heroes. Not just BST increase, but will it be a legend heroes and scoring increase from there? Legend heroes / dual heroes scoring increase. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, the rest of the banner will be Naga, Sothis, Bracier. Those 3 heroes in terms of mythics are kind of like lackluster nowadays, but they're not bad.
Not bad, but it's a hard sell.
It is a hard sell.
This Micaiah uses her weapon in B slot to replicate her OG form but bumped up, except she doesn't get to use NFU herself unlike her OG form.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is a bit rougher from that respect, but it's not a hard sell in the respect that Cullis is incredibly strong. Chat, you do realize the Cullis has a Shara, who I think is still among the best mythic heroes you can deploy with you. The ability to not worry about getting panicked is so huge. And of course, she's also a strong unit by herself, and she hits really freaking hard. And then of course, Fallen Edelgard. Does anyone want to dispute with me when I say Fallen Edelgard is probably the best hero in the game right now? Like, overall hero. Overall. So it's really hard to argue against Fallen Edelgard. And of course, Micaiah, the hero that's headlining this banner, is right there. So Carlos is incredibly good. That's like a... Would you guys give Carlos a 10 out of 10? I think it's a 10 out of 10 on Carlos. That's stupendously good.
Not like this Nim said she was supposed to be a unit who could single-handedly deal with cavalry and armor teams, especially those below. Sigurd, why doesn't she hard counter L? Sigurd, why can't she deal with flash staves? Why
Wait, what?
can't she have auto bandage and NCD against cavalry and armor? Why is she just basically OG Micaiah but with different activation conditions and an extra desperation too? Anyways, I'm a Cola single copy now, and she looks very pretty.
Okay. I'm confused why you expected so much from her. I would not have expected her to do such things. I basically expected her to do what every Micaiah could do, but better, and she definitely does that. Which is basically all I think you should have expected. I'm not sure why you believe she was going to shut down Legendary Sigurd, or even thought she could do such a thing. But I think she's perfectly fitting. This is already power creep. Are you guys going to argue with me here when I say that? Do you guys disagree? Isn't this the definition of power creep when Micaiah just does every Micaiah's job but way better? Like, I'm asking you guys right now, what does she do worse than any of the other Micaiahs aside from she can't dance? Like, no, she's just 100% better. I don't understand why you're disappointed. This is power creep. So, yeah. I guess she doesn't have... You're right, she doesn't have dominance. But she's a legendary hero, so it's a bit different from that respect. But she basically is every Micaiah but better. Anyways, Carlos is extremely strong. If you're going to pull on this banner, cannot skip Carlos. I would also say... Guys, what do you think is the second best color here? Because there's a lot of good heroes. Everything has a hero of value. Now, I know you guys don't agree with me here when I say I still think Edelgard, like, Legendary Edelgard is still really, really good. In the right scenarios, she's really capable of, like, destroying entire teams. She can have 3 actions in 1 turn. This girl is ridiculous. She has auto double on armor and beast heroes. Not armor, sorry. Beast and dragon heroes, and she sets up Gale Force release. I don't know, she's really good. Gale Force teams that use her, though rare, shows off how good she is. Pio Morgan is still really, really good and has really good fodder. She has dive bomb. She's really, really valuable. And of course, Thrasher is still a pretty good green mage, just not an obnoxiously good one like when she launched. So I think green's okay. For blue, I really like Farina. Farina's amazing. Farina's really cool, actually. A girl that likes money. Hard to, like, you know, dislike her, but Farina's nice. And that's the thing, though. If I think about every color, it's really hard to, like, put something over colorless. But yeah, Farina's nice, and of course, we have possibly the best Cav hero in the entire game right now. I mean, people are going to dispute that because Brave Erica is so good, but Ingrid is so good in certain game modes because of the variable fire sweep weapon and the damage, true damage dealt. So yeah, it's a strong group of hero for blues as well. Naga is still a good hero to have for ether raids. Anti-dragons means you don't have to worry about so many things, and of course she provides you some res, and she's not bad of a unit, she's just really old at now, so. And I think red isn't bad either, I guess. Sothis is at least times pulse and attack speed soul, but attack speed soul 3. Lilna, legendary Lilna is still nice.
OG Makai has an occupied B slot which she can't use for NCD. She can't run NCD and her damage reduction at the same time. OG Micaiah is better against Cav teams. Legendary Micaiah was supposed to be the ultimate weapon against cavalry teams, but OG makes a better job. Darn it. I guess I'll go for L. Sigurd merges on Black Friday when chasing Plum Maria merges, rather than trying to merge this Micaiah Nim sad, not like this Nim sad.
You know, this is probably one of the better times that you guys can realize my expressions. I am kind of baffled that you think all these things. If you really want Nulsi Disrupt on her, you just put Nulsi Disrupt on her. I think that's pretty simple, right? So yeah, I think if they gave her Nulsi Disrupt in her inherent kit, she would be absurdly good. She would be possibly like one of the best units in the entire game, best mages in the entire game. That's basically all she's lacking. You could still give her Nulsi Disrupt though. Like, you don't have to go that. You don't have to do it like that. So I don't know, Sigma Sensei. I think you're going way too overboard with this. You can just give her Nulsi Disrupt if you value it more. That's what I'll say. I don't know, man. Anyways, that's for the rest of the heroes. Yeah, I think blues are fine. I just don't think there's anything that's remotely close to Cullis. So if I'm going to rank it, I have Cullis first. Cullis first. Everything else looks basically the same to me. is what I'm gonna say. I still value, maybe green last because people don't value Edelgard as much nowadays, but Morgan's still really good fodder, and Thresher's still not bad. Blue's really nice. Red's really nice. I don't know. I just say as Cullis definitely, and that's it. But yeah, you guys let me know. Sorry it's not such a super surprise because it's Micaiah, but I don't know. I think it's a fun banner. Cullis is just really, really good though. Anyways, you guys can let me know.
Should make clear, still intend to pull for her. What I want to know is if Maiden Solace is 500 SP like Chrom's Change Fate, this could give her BST 195 scoring assuming duel is still 185.
What? Is 500 SP like Chrom's Change Fate, so this would give her BST 195 scoring assuming duel is 185. We'll see. How much is Sacrifice worth? I don't even remember that because I never really used Micaiah. I don't know. I feel like every color is just kind of pedestrian to average, you know, compared to Cullis. It's just Cullis is so clearly, you know, the best. It was 400 SP? Ah, okay. If it's 400, it's likely 400 SP because I'm pretty sure it's just Sacrifice, right? So she probably does have higher BST. I would say that as well. I mean, when I look down to read the chat, the face it makes isn't the best. All right. One sec.
Hello there.
Hey, Legion.
Been a little while. See things a little bit here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you surprised?
No.
No, no one's surprised.
Even remotely.
Yep. So, going into this, I was saying this is going to be very difficult to do because Micaiahs inherently have been doing the same thing over and over again. You can question, some of them do some things a bit better than others, but inherently they kill armors, they kill caps. And this time was no different. But the question is, like, how much better can she do everything? And I feel like they got like a decent medium here where they put together virtually everything that Micaiahs can do in a way. Like it's stream. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of Brave Marth, where you got like the essence of all the Marths put together. Not literally everything, but you got the essence of what makes Marth super good, and you put it together and added some stuff on top of it.
And did things that most people are gonna forget, like having Desperation where Marth has Vantage, and nobody's gonna care about that.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things that really gets me when people talk about Marth is just like, aren't you forgetting a few effects? Ugh.
It's gonna be the same thing here. Nobody's gonna remember that she has Desperation because it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
It's
so,
it's a good effect though.
It is a good effect. I'm gonna say, like, I do think she's, man, I don't know, man. This is, the thing is, like, again, inherently Micaiah's meant to kill armored and cav foes, and anybody who's like dealt with Micaiah knows that. But when we're talking about just inherent things, base Micaiah is really friggin' good at these things, and a lot of people already have her built and already have a lot of merges on her. Now, I'm pretty sure this Micaiah is meant for like scoring, more predominantly scoring. Like, you're not plus 10ing her because you need another armor and cav killer. You're plus 10ing her because you need a scoring hero, or you get a copy because you just, you know, like Micaiah.
Yeah. Or if you're looking for colorless specifically.
Right. Also, yeah, the colors on this banner is really hard to skip. I can't believe they gave her a Shara as well, which is fitting, but Tornado card, come on.
Yeah, this. Yeah, it's looking a little ridiculous.
That's the definition of stacking the deck, man.
Yep. Probably one of the strongest colorless we've ever had, to say the very least.
Yep. All right. But yeah, in terms of her kit, we'll go over, I guess. But, oh man, going into this, it was just a hard sell. Are you going to pull really quickly?
I have to get a Shara because my Brave Hector needs that red stat. So yes.
I'm gonna try and spare some orbs just to snipe for Cullis. Which, by the way, the entire rest of the banner, it really feels like
really
they just put it
Cullis.
all into Cullis. Yeah.
I mean, it's also literally just the Fallen banner, which any Fallen hero is great. But I mean, I don't know. It really is just colorless that has the most consistency, followed by red.
Yeah, I don't think I don't. Well, wow, I'm surprised you said red. I don't think because some people don't value Sothis. I have it pretty much all even. I don't really see one over another, to be honest. But I guess you really value Lilna then.
Yeah, it really is just, I guess, valuing Lilina. And if I'm being totally honest, I didn't even really look too hard at this selection. But I mean, blue Farina is kind of fringe. Naga, nobody cares.
Yeah,
and Ingrid.
I agree. I think all the banners are just like, they're just really pedestrian to average, I would say. Like, they're not bad, but you can't really say like it's a recommend, like a pure recommend.
Yeah, pretty much. No exceptions here. Like, outside of colorless, there's some, and even in colorless, you can argue the needs.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right, let's start. New Dawn. Inflict against armor and Caphos as expected. It's so fun. You know, also need to get your opinion on that. Are you happy with them, the down mines now giving us like the assets for the like the legendaries and mythics?
That was probably not intentional on IS's part.
Okay. Yeah,
they
because
probably did that by accident.
Yeah, because this time around, the tome having Dane's symbol on it just made it impossible not to guess Micaiah.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, it was hard. So, yeah, we already knew what we were expecting. Anyways, armor and Caphos effectiveness, attack +3. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack bonus +6 during combat. A unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. That is basically base Micaiah's weapon refined without the damage reduction effect. But it gets desperation too, essentially. So
pretty much. Attack +3 instead of res +3, one more attack and res. And of course, the follow-up condition is much easier.
Yep. So it's very similar, but again, that's what I expected from her. If they're gonna make another Micaiah, it basically has to do all the Micaiah stuff, but better. And yeah.
I mean, yeah, it really is, again, just the culmination of what Micaiah has done previously.
Yep. Alright, Maiden Solace converts penalties on target into bonuses and then neutralizes any penalty that remains.
You also skipping the desperation part?
What? No, I just said it. She has desperation too.
Right. Sorry, my bad. My mind is skipping the desperation part. Which, that part's just gonna... It's not gonna get much use, to be totally honest, unless you use Maiden Solace.
Right. So I understand the entire build. Maiden Solace is basically sacrifice. Yeah. And then penalties on target into bonuses and neutralize any penalty that remains. Restores HP to target equals unit's current HP -1. Reduces unit's HP by amount restored. So that's supposed to take away her own HP and transfer it over to her allies while getting rid of penalties. And combined with Fury 4, you can set her up to get under 50% HP pretty easily. It's not like her base HP is going to be good. Is good anyways. So...
Not really.
Yeah, so you can either fight yourself into Desperation 2, or use Fury 4 and Maiden Solace to get yourself into Desperation percentage. So it's not hard to get into New Dawn, and to be honest, it's pretty clear what they were trying to do here. Yet another Edelgard killer, which is funny because she's with Edelgard.
Yeah, the irony there. Yeah, as long as she gets the double, Edelgard's toast.
Yep. All right, so you put
Harsh Command Plus. I like that it's better than Sacrifice, because if they just slapped on Sacrifice again, that would have been depressing.
Yeah,
but
it would.
Does, I guess, beg the question: will it promote off Sacrifice and have more SP?
Yeah, that's the one thing people point out to me. If it's Sacrifice, it's 400 SP, but if it's anything higher, if it's a promotion, then it's 500 SP, which would make her like the highest scoring unit in the game.
Yep. So. And Mage, who still has 171 BST, by the way.
Yeah, you guys gotta realize, because she has a perf B slot, and then absolute max scoring A and C slot, and also a 500 SP assist skill, and you might be like, well, her BST is low. Nope, it doesn't matter, because she's a legendary hero, so she has a new scoring, and if it's 185, I don't know, like, this is just absurd how highly she can score. This
Yep. And
honestly,
you only
feels
need to slap on Ether or Ruptured.
Yeah, you just have to slap on a proper special skill. Honestly, feels like this is whale bait.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It literally, if I'm being totally honest, this is totally just the whale bait banner. There's no Sigurd, but you have Fallen Edelgard and you have Legendary Lilina. One of the best units in the game and one of the other best legendary heroes in the game. Those two alone could sell a banner.
Yep.
Let alone with Micaiah.
Yep. Also, it does feel a bit weird to have another colorless tone Micaiah, considering the first colorless tone Micaiah is still amazing. It's not like she's, which is also funny because you're not even power. Well, I guess that's the point. You can't power creep a dual Micaiah, but yeah.
No, dual Micaiah is probably the worst Micaiah combat-wise, and I say this in spite of the fact that we have a Dancer one because Hardy Bearing is so good, but support is unmatched. This one definitely takes combat more seriously, but where Bride Micaiah's support is so broken, makes up, despite Duo's hindrance.
Yep. Okay. Anyways, Pre-Science. The new key, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Pre-Science is attack res minus 5 on foe during combat. If unit shoots combat or foe's range equals 2, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30%. It's basically Micaiah's weapon. Base Micaiah's weapon. The base effect. It's just base effect, right? But better, because it's now like guaranteed all range 2.
Banner is November. Have you checked the roster for that? Red will have Plumeria and Sigurd. Colorless will have
that's the real
Micaiah,
banner.
Karin,
Bait right
and
there.
Blammy Monk. Dagger and Nod will also be there.
I'm not so sure because the colorless heroes are here are just so ridiculous. Mitsu, Hachimitsu. Hachimitsu, thank you for following. Yeah, go ahead.
Some whales like entire banners.
Right. But oh man, it's still hard to say no because one Legend Micaiah from which was really good.
Sorry that Emblem just woke up.
I'm absolutely gonna go in for Micaiah. Even if I get Micaiah, I wouldn't be disappointed, just to preface that. But Prescience, Pre-Science, I don't actually know how to pronounce it. You might as well just say that that's Hallowed Tierfing on a B slot in a certain way, because it's the same condition as Sigurd.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. But I also like that it inflicts the attack penalty instead of attack res plus 5. You know,
right.
Like a New Dawn.
Yeah. This helps a lot because her defense is likely to be very low. And because of Fury 4. And give her the best possible chance of taking a hit. So, that's nice.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, she has right around 18 defense.
Oh boy, that's not going to be good.
Well, here's the thing though. She has 171 BST, so BST's got to go somewhere.
She's going to hit really hard.
She's going to have a speed stat, is what I'm saying.
Oh wait, you actually think she's going to...
She has to.
Okay, like, I guess that's how you make her different from the other Micaiahs. You give her some speed.
Like, put it this way. She only has 38 HP and 18 defense. And I calculated she has right around 42 attack. So if we were to assume that she has like 40 res, for example, that would... bad calculator. That would put her only to 138 BST, so that would put her up to around 33 speed. 34. So you could actually kind of make an argument to use her for her speed stat in a max invested build. It's not a lot. It's not like Brave Marianne, but it definitely has potential.
I mean, all I wanted from her was enough speed to double Fallen Edelgard guaranteed, so that the new Dawn can work properly. That's all I was asking for, which wasn't much, to be honest. But yeah, that's usable. Yeah,
it'll have a place. Like, it'll probably be like sort of a Crom situation where you could just invest in speed and kind of, you know, have more guaranteed coverage of the meta, which is interesting.
All right, there's also Joint Distant Guard, which, I mean, this was going to happen eventually. They seem to want to make all these skills into joints. So instead of just defense res plus 4 for allies, it's defense res plus 4 to yourself as well. And I really like that because you generally, like, when it comes to like joint drive res or joint drive defense, you generally only need that for like up close or at far. You don't need it for both usually. Predominantly, you want to focus on one thing, and this would be much more useful for most heroes. So that's actually a really valuable C slot. Not just because it scores well, but because it's just a lot of stats for free.
Oh yeah. I mean, put it this way, Ether Raids is predominantly range tanking these days. So Joint Distant Guard is almost just free DefRes +4 for the majority of tanks. Like, if you're using a Mono Savior with a ranged unit as your lead, for example, Guinevere, I know is a popular unit, or Micaiah, you could just run Joint Distant Guard. First of all, if your allies have to get hit by ranged attacks, they're a little better off, but you are also just, instead of having Joint Drive Res, getting an objectively superior 4 defense.
Yep.
Which is great. It doesn't give more stats, though, so you wouldn't use this on a support unit if you have the option.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Alright. So unfortunately, I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys, if I don't get Micaiah, I'm not going to feel bad.
Yeah,
but if I wouldn't. Yeah. I have every other Micaiah, so it's not even like I'm a fan of hers. I'm really not, which is the funny part. But yeah, if I get her, okay. If I don't get her, okay. It's fine with me. Yeah, I'm more interested in Shura and Edelgard personally.
Likewise. At least I want to get a Shura. Like, put it this way, Brave Micaiah's Refine is most likely in a week. So even if this Micaiah is not your fancy, we're literally getting another one. We might as well just be getting a whole new Micaiah because Brave Micaiah's Refine will probably change it fundamentally.
Yep.
So, no pressure, to say the very least. Unless you're a whale that wants to be at the top scoring of Arena, because realistically, she might even be better than Sigurd in scoring.
Yep, that's the only thing. Alright, so the other weird question in the room. How many of you guys actually have orbs?
It's not even just that. How many of you are actually going to use those orbs? Because based on initial impressions, I have not seen many people that are going down.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, chat, this was really hard for them. Because which hero from Half of Radiance, Radiant Dawn could they rely on at this point? They can't do another Ike. There's literally legendary Ike, okay? So they can't do that. Like, what were they gonna do from the series? Like, they had to basically go for Micaiah. And the other part was, like, there was already Cypher Art of this Micaiah anyways. So this is something that they had to do. But again, like, it was just so hard. Huh?
We all knew this was coming.
Yeah, so this was really hard to do right.
If anything, it's surprising that she came out so late and kind of helped her out be a little bit better than the other Micaiahs coming out so much later.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing is, Micaiah is probably the single most typecasted unit in the entire game. Like,
yeah.
I know, like, Lynn, for example, is supposed to be fast, but even then, she at least tries to take a slightly different approach between her ults. Micaiah is the high attack, high res, mediocre, sometimes low speed mage who always has dual effective every single time.
Yeah.
And then is pretty much designed for mage tanking.
Yeah.
And nuking to the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Micaiah is doing better than others, but every Micaiah does it the exact same way.
You know what I gotta say to that?
Very consistent. What?
This is probably my favorite instance of power creep yet, because she does in fact power creep the majority of Micaiahs very easily. Yep. But you don't even feel bad about it.
Nope.
That's the funniest thing, man.
I mean, put it this way. She is definitely much better than base Micaiah, but it's not to the point where it's justifiable for some people to have to use a unit that has Legendary Reliance, so you can't use her in every season, and B, having to go into Mythic banners and Legendary banners to pull her when base Micaiah is in the 4-star special rate.
Yeah, so that's the other part.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, I've seen a lot of people like plus 10 Micaiahs, base Micaiahs. So this one really offers you nothing. If you have unless you like really merge her up. Because the base Micaiah, I'll tell you, is much more than just serviceable. Sigma Sensei was like absolutely obsessing over this fact. She doesn't have Nullsea Disrupt.
Yeah,
if she
and
did,
I was gonna mention that too.
If she did, she would be like S tier. Easily. I mean, I already think she's really highly tiered, but especially in Colorless Tomes.
Yeah.
Name me 10 better Colorless Tomes than her. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to say that. Well, it's almost impossible not to be an S tier Callisto. They don't have competition.
Zane's just as good or bad as her.
Well, the skills is what makes a difference. But yeah, guys, if she had Nullsea Disrupt, that would be like truly power creep. but because she doesn't. But here's the thing. You can just give her Nullsea Disrupt. It's not the end of the world to lose attack res -5, 30% damage reduction. She will kill mages just as easily. The 30% damage reduction is more about killing archers, which she now has to fear if she loses pre-signs.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, aside from Fire Sweep archers, it's not like it's a big deal if it can't counter, because you can just run Mystic Boost, which is probably going to be one of the most common steals when run. So you don't even have to really worry about healers, since they're halved in attack and also dealing with the damage reduction.
So yeah.
Yeah, but nah. I think this Micaiah is just really, if you have her, use her. But if you have base Micaiah, refined, preferably resplendent, decent merge, you're not really missing too much.
Yep.
And if you have Brave Micaiah, who has roughly the same speed, most likely, you probably won't be missing much either once you get to refined.
Yep. Now, what we're talking about right now is the average use case. If you're a whale, you go do your thing. Make sure this game survives as long as possible. Thank you very much for supporting Fire Emblem Heroes and IS and Nintendo. Keep up the good work. But
yeah,
for everybody else, you guys get the point.
Yeah, like I would definitely say she's no Sigurd and probably no Claude, but she's still one of the best legendary heroes just by default. Boring, but definitely up there for the best.
Yeah.
And probably not as common as Sigurd, but I expect to see a good amount of her going forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, with that said, yeah, I think I'll pull just because I want Ashura, which is funny because I actually value Ashura and Edelgard more than I value Micaiah. No offense to Micaiah fans, it's just Edelgard's possibly the best unit, and Ashura's a really good mythic.
I meant to say that, yeah, you can just replace her B slot for NCD or NFU.
Yeah.
Just kind of feels bad that makes it so she doesn't get her intended Thorny set she comes with you.
Desperation with the damage reduction, it might have gone off a little better, if anything. Though I suppose this is to encourage the use for B slot more.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I do want to mention this to you guys. Now, people give IS flack all the time. When they make a character really, really good, everyone gets upset at IS for power creeping. When they make a character that is just as expected, or just slightly better than the past, everyone says it's boring. In both cases,
bad, they complain they're bad.
Right. And when they're bad, literally the worst case scenario, what I'm trying to point out is there's no making people happy. Finding that really good middle ground is nearly impossible. Whatever they do is just going to piss people off.
Somebody's always like, Sigurd is amazing, and I'm sure for the people who love Sigurd and know he's broken and whatnot, cool. Everybody else is complaining constantly because it's Sigurd.
Mm-hmm.
Micaiah, very boring, clean, solid unit. For the people who actually want her, this is just a really good Micaiah. Really functional, can definitely do a lot. And for whales, this is just a great merge project.
Yeah.
For everybody else, it's either the same old, if not possibly worse in some cases. And it's like, well, what? Well, IS, why couldn't you make her better?
No. You know, this is reminding me a lot about our last legendary, or sorry, last mythic hero. Aller. I honestly, it felt like she was here for one day and then she got deleted in the game because nobody talked about her again.
So I do see a lot of people use her.
Well, I've seen more than a few people try and use her, and the problems we mentioned are the reasons why she kept dying.
Well, see, here's the funny thing. If you use her in a savior comp especially, she's actually amazing cleanup. I love using Uller.
Oh yeah,
now,
if you have no savior, she's absolutely worthless though.
Yeah, pretty much. Or Gatekeeper. But I'll just say, short thing is, I dissed Uller a little bit, not gonna lie, but after actually getting her on the last day of our banner and using her, she has actually single-handedly fixed my light season problems. So,
well, really? I'm surprised by that.
I use Gustav and Henriette.
Wait a second. Oh. But then you don't have Dagger.
Shush.
I was thinking to myself, like, wait a second, if you had Dagger, she wouldn't fix much of anything.
Dagger doesn't have range. That's the huge part. But Yeah. I don't have Dogger. Rub it in.
All right.
Realistically, the way I see it, a unit's always gonna have their place. There are gonna be people like them, people that don't. I just look at it the way I look at it. People can look at it how they do. Whatever they offer, I'm gonna look at it objectively in that regard for their potential. But beyond that, it's up to you to interpret how you like the unit or not.
I agree. All right, so overall, solid banner, but timing's not the greatest. Timing's not the greatest. Oh, the rest of the banner is not the greatest. Micaiah is not the greatest, but the colorless is among the greatest to go for. So, yeah, if you value the other two heroes a lot, then I can recommend the banner. If you don't value the other two heroes a lot, then I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I still think Hero Fest is amazing, and I still think the Brave banner. I mean, especially if you didn't get a spark. If you didn't spark, I don't know what you're doing, but at least try to do the first spark. Yeah.
And I mean, the Pirate banner is going to be around still. We have Pirate banner, Brave banner, double special heroes. Don't forget about that. Plus, we have a new seasonal banner coming out in like a week. So there's
crap, we didn't even mention it. Double special heroes banner's crazy.
Yeah, double special heroes, red, absolutely packed. So there's a lot going around right now, and colorless is amazing here. But I mean, just sitting down with this, everything else is okay. I mean, if you had to tier the other three colors, how would it be? Because people.
If I had to, man, it's. Every one of the colors has like a hero that's meh or like not a difference maker. So I would have colors first and green last. Not that I really want to do it that way. It's just for most people, I don't think they're gonna understand or realize potential of Fallen Edelgard. Sorry, not Fallen Edelgard, Brave Edelgard. Wait a second. Legendary
Edelgard.
Wait a second. They have both Edelgards. Okay, sure.
Yeah, they both have.
Legendary Edelgard, by the way, if anyone has ever played Broker Sieges, you would automatically recognize how absurd she's for that mode. Or Legion's battles.
In that mode.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I use Legendary Edelgard and can turn 2 some Rookers.
Yeah.
Effortlessly. So.
Right.
By the way, I love these Rooker Sieges. But Legendary Edelgard is a different beast from Fallen. Not as good, but has her own unique playstyle.
Her niche is absolutely dominant, though.
Yep.
When you can use her, and when you can use her, especially when it's like cases where there's nobody else who does what she does, essentially. So, yeah, I still super value her, but I put her at last place because I feel like most people, in fact, will not be doing any of those things, so it won't matter to them. Likewise, I've only ever been beaten by Legendary Edelgard in Ether Raids one time, but it looks so friggin' sick. She just bopped the shit out of me. It was so good. But again, like, I don't see most people fulfilling her potential, but I think she's still really, really good. Thrasher, I still think, is a really good green mage. Morgan, if not good dive bomb fodder, is still just the definition of like a ridiculously good flying tank. So
yeah,
I don't even think
epitomizes green axe flyers, and Menace, of course, is one of the best skills in the game right now.
Yeah, so S tier fodder and just a S tier flyer. But yeah, that's why I don't want to put green last. But most people are going to disagree with me on Edelgard, so fine.
It's mostly, if anything, Thrasher for me is just kind of, first of all, a lot of people have her at this point because she's been around for so long, but she's also not as oppressive a threat as she used to be.
Agreed.
And can oftentimes actually just be a non-threat.
Honestly, nowadays, if I see a Thrasher, I'm just like, well, I'm going to take this. I don't care anymore. It's not that scary.
I use Brave Hector, and she's not a big threat to him. So realistically, that's probably the least of our worries. And as a result, I would put it last as well,
Okay, well, the problem with the Brave Hector example is, like, you could say that for almost everybody.
Yeah, but Brave Hector's supposed to be triangle disadvantage, and yet it's a consistent matchup.
Okay, fair enough. Likewise, I can't put blue poorly because Farina's there, and I think when you develop a Farina, you'll realize how good she is. She's not absurd, but she's really fun to play. If you give her the Dragon Flowers, she's just... And she's good fodder, by the way. She's really good fodder.
Oh, yeah. Amazing fodder. Catch is really nice. And yeah, she's a rain in the week.
Yeah. We still have among the best Cav heroes in the entire game. I know Brave Erica's out and everyone will debate this, but there are a lot of instances where Ingrid is still possibly the better Cav hero. Just don't worry about counterattacks. Huh?
I'll absolutely agree.
Yep.
She's the much better defense unit because of safety plus trace. If you get it, you can easily just hit and run.
Yep.
No punishment, particularly in defense maps, which can really set up your allies thereafter.
Yeah.
Just a very safe, surprisingly solid damage thanks to true damage Lance Cav.
Yeah.
And while Erica is absolutely broken, she can also get one shot.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then when it comes to Naga, it's the same thing with Thrasher. If you wanted her, you probably have her. Not the scariest unit to deal with, but still has some. I mean, plus res is always nice to have, but still a nice hero to have. Oh, crap! It's defense. My bad.
Yeah, not as useful.
Yeah, whatever. It's still nice to have one Naga, I think, because you do fight dragons occasionally, and you're like, well, I don't know how to solve these dragons, especially against like Saros. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then red. Yeah. So if I had to rank it, it's probably colorless, red, blue, and green. But honestly, it's if I had to rate it, it would be like 7.5 to 8 on all of them. If you know what I mean. It's like it's such a small margin of difference.
Yeah. Colorless, I'd say it's a pretty marked improvement over the other three. Taking away the guard.
Right. Outside. No, I think colorless is a 10 out of 10. I really can't think of anything. If you ask me, like, give me 3 better colorless heroes without going with the heroes you have here, it's not possible.
No.
Yeah, it's not possible.
I mean, yeah, Ashera and Micaiah may not be top tier colorless units, but Ashera is still really good. Micaiah is still really good. And I don't think I need to say anything about Guard.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, yeah, that's your banner. It's a really, I don't know. It's really strong in certain areas, and it's so weird. It's not that. It's just this banner has so many highs and so many lows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it literally has two of the worst mythics in Sothis and Naga. Sorry, and one of the upper mid tiers in Thrasher, just holding this banner back. Like, if it weren't for them, this banner would be otherwise very consistent. But I think it's all right from the respect that some people want to skip. They need an excuse to skip so they can summon other banners.
You wait until Sothis gets her refined 4 years from now, and then you'll take that back.
Maybe. I don't even. Till that day comes, if I see another one of her, she may or may not be time spell spotter. I'll just put it that way.
All right, guys, but yeah, that's the banner. I don't know if we have a poll. If we do, we'll go over that. But there's not much to talk about. It's Micaiah is just so everyone knows how she works.
Yep. This is just besides Null C, the epitome of Micaiah.
Frenzy, do we have a poll? Frenzy, are you even here? Guys, we're at 93 likes. Can we get 100 on YouTube? All right, but yeah, I think going forward in the future, maybe we don't have to get spoiled. But yeah, even if it wasn't spoiled, it's honestly kind of hard to get excited for Micaiah. I'm sorry, this is a hero with, what, 5 other iterations already?
Yeah, we've already had one of each color, and this is now our second colorless.
Yeah.
Like, I just was not going to get excited for Micaiah no matter what. She's probably the easiest one to use overall, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. This is probably the one legendary hero I had the least overall hype for, even before I knew she was coming out.
Yeah. That actually really sucks, because honestly, I'll tell you guys right now, I feel like the past 2 banners are pretty sleeper. No, okay, fine. Or had Legendary Sigurd. That's different. But the past 2 banners were pretty sleeper as a whole. I mean, this banner, we're going to come back and look at it and say, well, it has Fallen Edelgard. So it's not bad. It's just...
No, these 2 banners have had some of the most meta units. It's just their lead units have been debatable. I still think that debatably they are amazing in certain ways, Uller for cleanup or Wings of Mercy. Micaiah is going to probably be a major meta threat in Arena.
Yeah.
But they just kind of exist for the majority of people.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part.
I will probably be eating my words though as I see the 20th legendary Micaiah on win season destroying my armors.
I mean, I'm not actually, well, it's gonna happen, but I'm not actually that worried about it because, you know, do you guys realize okay, have you guys already fought like those Micaiah Ether Ray teams with a savior hero for up close and the Micaiah right in front of them?
I actually have not.
You have what? Okay, I fight those a lot. Okay, so basically all I see is like, hey, it's now win season. They replaced their base Micaiah with this Micaiah. That's literally how I see how this is going. I feel like the people who have it set up already are just going to do that.
If anything, Micaiah is mostly an offense unit, and in that regard, this one doesn't really change much. Most people who have high merge Micaiahs are not going to need this at all.
They might not even do that.
It might be worse in some ways. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
The other thing about Fury 4 is that even if they don't do a lot of damage on her, like she has res plus 10 here, right? So even if they don't do
like some 40s, 50s in res.
Right, but even if they don't do a lot of damage, with 38 HP, she can't go through you in 4 battles, and you might find yourself in 4 battles.
Yeah. I mean, an important thing to note is that she's going to probably be running Mystic Boost on most common builds, because it just synergizes well with her.
Yeah, if we had to mention that, you have to Mystic Boost her. Or that Fury is... The thing is, like, you can still control her and use her well enough, even when you... Okay, so people are like, okay, well, if you use Mystic Boost, you're not going to find yourself into, I was going to be saying, if you use Mystic Boost, you're not going to find yourself in Desperation 2, but then you can control it with her assist skill. But then I thought about it again, and it was just like, well, actually... She might be one of those heroes who like has so much res, she just barely takes damage, like 5 damage or something. In which case, you know, you can find yourself at that midpoint safely, where you're at like, you know, 20 HP, but you're fine actually.
Yeah, you're probably gonna mostly use her to get as close as possible to that threshold for Desperation 2. The way I see it. Which would also be Wings of Mercy threshold. So if setting up for that was already easy, then this isn't too bad either. That's the way I'm mostly seeing it. She's going to be healthily in Desperation 2 range, which is weird. But I can definitely see it working.
You know, the one thing that I have to say is, has Hakan ever done Micaiah art?
No, it's been mostly... Who did the base Micaiah? Let's see. It's mostly been Chico who did base Micaiah and Dance Micaiah. Then it was I believe it was Kita Senri who did Brave. And then I don't even know who did Bride off the top of my head.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is clearly the best Micaiah in terms of art.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I could definitely... Yeah, I don't even know who Bride and Micaiah's artist was, but they're different. Duo? Not a duo. Brave Micaiah is probably second, but this is amazing art.
Yeah, it's when Micaiah embraces her Dane identity that she actually looks really, really good. This one, of course, like she just looks so majestic.
Oh, absolutely. That robe is amazing.
Yeah. So in general, guys, like, yeah. I feel like that's probably like the biggest takeaway. They finally made this version of Micaiah happen. And while she's not absurdly better than any of the other Micaiahs, in many cases you can debate whether it's even like a noticeable enough change. I still think she is the best Micaiah. And I think...
I will incline to agree.
Yeah. I think she has the best art. I think she's the best overall. And I think... The only issue is like she's, you know, elemental, so you can't use her as often as the other Micaiahs. But outside of that, she scores really well, so I can see a lot of +10 versions of her. It's just, you know, just because it's not the biggest deal, so.
Yeah. Like, I'm expecting a lot of her in Arena, and I'm expecting base Micaiah to still be used in either raids. That's the real only difference, is Micaiah will have an Arena presence. That isn't just her admittedly lackluster defense duo Micaiah.
Yeah. right.
So, yeah.
So for the comment that she looks like a queen, yeah, she's supposed to be a queen, but now it's fitting. Now she actually does it.
Replace Fury 4 with Distant Def 4. Plus 12 Def/Rees and all against ranged units just from A and C can make her more beautiful. But the lack of simultaneous access to DR and NCD hurts a lot when compared to an investigation
from those
strict
respect that she doesn't take that much damage from healers. But it really depends on the composition you're running in tandem with her. And also depends on where you're running her to begin with.
I'll be honest, like, Sigma Sensei is basically recreating the other Micaiahs.
Well, yeah, though that really is not a surprise because it's basically what you do.
I don't know. I
mean,
think she's fine as is. She looks more offensive than other Micaiahs because of the Fury 4 Desperation setup.
Yeah, you could definitely say her player phase is more justified building off of here. But you could totally use DD4 or like Mirror Stance 3 to great effect too, because of how she's designed.
Isn't Brave Micaiah queen too? She is, but she's like just became a queen. This one looks like she's been queen for a while now.
Yeah. So, slightly different. And once again, that must be stressed that if anything, yeah, right now there's only 2 really good Micaiahs as units, but Brave Micaiah is getting a refine most likely in a week, and Dancer Micaiah, assuming Dancer refines happen, should only be in a couple of months. So, needless to say, it's the year of Micaiah all of a sudden.
I think this is one of the banners you guys are least excited for.
Yeah.
And it does not even surprise me, but...
I mean, put it this way. It's Micaiah.
Yes.
To say nothing of how some people don't get excited about her character. It's Micaiah, the archetype. There's nothing really new. Just new paint.
I was gonna say, alright guys, I'm gonna summon within 3 days. I just have to figure out when, but I'm gonna definitely pull one more savior hero, that's for sure.
Oh yes. That'll be exciting.
I don't know, I haven't wanted to summon for some reason. Also haven't really needed anything in particular, but...
Same here. I mean, I just finished I think my Astra season's a lot better now, so I don't really know what I'm going for outside of Ashera.
I think it's funny that Brave Micaiah can cast magic without a tome, but here she needs a tome again. Guess being queen for a while took away her ability to cast magic with a snap of her fingers, lol.
That's actually an interesting thing to bring up. Yeah, you're right, her Brave variant does not need anything. But I think the Brave variant is with a lot more of Yoon's power imbued. Yeah. This one looks like she's using a tome more.
Yeah, kind of get that feeling a lot. Makes sense in canon.
All right, guys, that's your survey. If you guys want to fill out, let me know. I'm gonna check out the results in a bit, but honestly, I already have a pretty good idea of how you guys are gonna go about this. So, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this sounds demonic. Whoopsies. We'll do Faye Reddit tomorrow, so we'll get some reactions. But yeah, we'll see.
Peleus and Sanaki.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but
close enough.
Micaiah's the version of... Oh, that's actually really good. Micaiah's basically the iPhone.
Yeah.
You could say it's better, but it's...
Iterative with upgrading. Like, they're improvements. That's all that matters, right?
I can't believe I won 5 in a row for like the first... and like all the way into the weekend. And then we lose 3 in a row. What the heck happened?
Nice.
Huh.
I've been just up and down. A lot of wins and losses.
they're releasing so much Colorless Mages. Yeah, it's because Colorless Mages sell better.
Like, they only released 2 this year.
I know, but that's a lot more than usual. Wait, actually.
Last year was 3.
Yeah. I don't know. It's about the same rate. It just feels like it's a bit more.
It's just because we got them back to back.
Oh, well, you're counting as summoner, aren't you?
I guess you could also say the summoner is one, though that's a technicality, especially since we're not always a colorless unit.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I averaged 762, chat, and this is what it gets you, rank 200 right now. Did anybody who didn't get all 762, like, what did you guys rank as? Because I overkilled it. I went 760, 762, 762, 762, and then my last battle was a 764, so I averaged 762. I didn't even expect to get a 764, but that happened, so we took it.
Well, considering the score ceiling, I believe is 766 or 68 right now, that's a little high.
Yeah, I didn't even think I could hit 764. I think that's my absolute maximum. I did not believe I would see it. I've never seen that before. But that's the highest battle I've ever had.
Jeez. So Patrine for the main arena assault core, right?
Wait. Does bonus hero actually affect the arena assault? I thought it didn't.
No, but it means that when you use a bonus unit, you're getting your normal arena assault score. So basically, yeah, it's the same scoring bonus unit arena as non-bonus arena assault.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that means that whatever Patrine's doing here is your actual range.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you could make the argument. Because she's a 170 BST, Lance Cav?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure your core is actually really good in scoring right now. Otherwise.
My core is Young Marth, Hannah. Once I put Edelgard in, once I max her out anyways, it'll score at 180 average with Marth.
I mean, technically, once again, you could just use Edelgard already.
Oh yeah, I could, but
she scores 190, so she should score like a 180 at +9, if I'm not mistaken.
I know, but right now I don't even need her because I can't.
Well, you got Savior now, so she can really make more matchups consistent without having to rely on tanking.
Reggie Lord, really quickly, you said, from tier 20. Okay, I was like, 762 is 750 plus 12? No. Just straight 762.
762 because it's a +10 retreat.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. To stay in tier 21 nowadays, the scoring is absurd, but...
Yeah, it's basically like top 1k arena assault scoring. Like, that's actually just around the same.
Wait, 3864.
With less matches.
3864 divided by 5 is 772.18. No, it's supposed to be minus 60. 3864 minus 60. 3804 divided by 5 is 760. Oh wow, I could have made it with less then. But there's still 24 hours left to go, and that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want to bet too hard.
Yeah. So I think you would have needed like 3 762s at minimum, 4 to be safe. So is what it looks like to me. Is next week these heroes changing? Are these heroes changing next week?
It hasn't been announced, so no.
Okay, good.
Because we have an extra week. I remembered. There's an extra week of pirates for some reason.
That's nice. That means an extra week of retreat, which means an extra week of staying in.
Yep. And looking at your score range, assuming you use Marth, Hana, Edelgard, and Patrine, you would score 750 to 764 with a little bit of leniency. In fact, if you swap to just regular rally, I believe you still have the same. Which is
you know the reason why I run a Versa?
Because you just got rid of flying 4 and attack res ring.
No, she one-shots Duel In. If I remove a Versa, I have no idea how I fight Duel In.
Just tank her with Edelgard? She's not gonna die. Because Edelgard has 80% damage reduction on the follow-up, so even if she gets quadded, who cares?
And I guess I'm doing DC there. Huh.
You could still do a DC near save. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
Averse has been
Edelgard.
really nice, though.
You could always just have options. I mean, realistically, whatever you feel like works with that week, you just run a team based on that.
I guess.
I mean, that's eventually what's going to happen because you have so many arena units.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, well, I have so many arena units, but it still feels like such a struggle to stay in tier 21.
Oh yeah, but that's bonus unit syndrome. You really need good bonus units, or there's no chance.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a +10 legendary hero, and then a decent bonus. In which case, that's fine-ish. But, yeah.
For beginners, what would you recommend? What am I recommending?
Yeah, what are we recommending here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help, but I don't know what you're. I don't know what you're talking about right now. All right, let's do the pirate story, I guess, because we have a bit of time. Perilous seas. All right, tomorrow we're gonna do. With Arena done, the big thing is done, so it's just gonna be Ether raids and watching replays, Arena assaults, and I guess Allegiance battles too.
Yeah. Fortunately, this week, Baby is a little more merciful than the last one.
Oh. Yeah.
That map.
The last Allegiance battles was really bad.
Fortunately, I got done with it quickly because I got a lucky group, but that map is terrible.
Yeah, that was depressing. I hated every moment of it.
Yep. Ugh. Oh, next week is Wind Water. Cool.
At defense? Defense in Ether raids or defense in Arena?
If we're talking Arena defense, just use units that are good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even matter how much they score, just use good units. If we're talking Ether raids defense, that is a very complicated matter that you would probably want to look into with the Discord.
Yeah, I would recommend you to go to our Discord because it's a long discussion. We need to see your units before we make recommendations. There's no copy-paste Ether raids defense team. And generally speaking, the copy-paste Ether raids defense teams like Cav lines are pretty easy to solve because the solution is copy-paste.
Yep. I mean, like, Note Line, for example, I guess could be pretty copy-paste and efficient, but realistically, if there's no plan, there's going to be a hole somewhere. Yeah. There always will be.
Okay. Hey, guys, when you guys did your Roker Sieges for top 3, I mean, 3K, I got top 3. But...
Yep.
What was your score?
I didn't even make it because everybody was, like, 3 mil in my realm, which I wasn't going to bother with.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what happened to my realm, but top 3 was 1.6 mil.
Okay, that's easy.
I don't even understand how it's so low, but it was 1.6 mil. That's why I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to just take that top 3. It's practically free, you know?
It literally is. Yeah, I kind of wish I had that luck, but if I'm being totally honest, I could probably have tried to push top 3 in my second one, even though it was so ridiculous, because this time it's much less competitive. Which is, again, weird.
So most people pointed out it was between 3 mil, 2.9 mil. I got second somehow, had 3.2 mil, 3 mil. Yeah, guys, I have no idea how it works. There's some, it's so funny. Some realms are just horrendous. Elkrack, sorry. Thank you for follow.
This one's not too bad, surprisingly.
Wait,
if you just have
my
good
memory,
resources.
don't they always put the note of letting us know?
Yes,
the
they do that. And Arena's
now?
not shifting next
'Cause I'm
season,
under
it's
the
shifting the
assumption
season
that
after,
bonuses
as per
aren't
the data
shifting
mine.
next season.
Accounting tutor, thank you for follow. See, when I was a human being, I was an accountant. And I was still working towards my CPA. But yeah, that's fun. Thanks for following me. I might need your help one day.
Yeah, with this round, everybody has all their skills, so you'll have to deal with like Yoon's Whispers and Chaos named. But if you just have a good Brave Sword Gale Force, you'll probably be fine.
I don't expect this to be hard. Yeah, so I'll worry about pirates. Pass exams and procrastinating applying. What the heck? You passed the hard. You're done with the hard part. Do the easy part. Applying's the easy part. Getting the credentials to apply is the hard part. Come on, man.
Yeah, that just goes with anything.
It's funny because like a lot of times it's the same for me. Like, hey, we already shot the video. Why are you not posting it? You know? So it's not like I don't understand.
Far from it.
I don't even have pirate heroes, man.
I actually didn't have much of the original pirate banner until I accidentally got Bridget on free summon, so that was cool. But I did get Pirate Sorter off this banner, and he's Sorter. I love him. Do you have Brave Celica refined by chance?
Brave Celica? Yeah.
User.
Oh. Wait, but she doesn't have, I guess it's fine. By the way, guys,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm never gonna, I think, fodding off Mythic Heroes is dumb anyways.
Yeah, I would never realistically fodder off Mythics because of lift loss gain or reduction.
Yeah. But Triandra is just so ridiculously good, it just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. If you have either, like, I'm assuming you don't have Winter Sephiron anymore, or his staff? Do you?
He's pretty dead. What about him?
Did you at least take his base staff, or did you give push?
I took push.
Ah, rip. Because even just basic Winter Sephiron staff would have been...
Ah, you're right. But how could I... Oh, wait, I could have. I didn't need...
You don't need attack.
That's funny. Yeah, you're right. I didn't need attack res push, but I took it anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Small thing.
I didn't... I just didn't value... I was like, I'm never going to not use Staff of Roston, though. You're right.
Yeah, I get that. But it really is just the single best staff, because you can immediately... No need to set up a guard. But considering that realistically you could turn 3 most workers, the extra couple actions is not least.
Yeah. Whoa, accounting tutor, thank you for following 3 minutes ago and then subscribing. Thank you so much.
Well, you got them attracted in with that accounting talk.
You know, it's funny because we have multiple accountants in our as subs and viewers. It's funny how accountants get together.
Great minds think alike. When there's a gacha game, of course we're going to be looking for the people that are financial analysts and whatnot.
Yeah, Body Sweeper is also accountant, Burgess is also an accountant, and we also had other people who were like working on their CPA. It was pretty funny that like we were all in around the same position.
Yeah. So if I had to recommend a composition, and I'm just now cementing my own worker comp, I would probably be using like Brave Celica with Triandra, another Dancer, and honestly, since you don't have guard, maybe even triple Dancer. Just dump everything onto Celica because she can do it. Celica doesn't take much damage, especially if you run Triangle Adept.
Yeah, I expect her to be alright.
Yeah. Personally, I've been able to almost turn 2 with her. Almost.
Alright, yeah, fine. I'll set that team later as well. I think I want to run 40.
In a Green Mage? Against Green Mage?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of like the pirate story to do later.
Right.
I think I'll put Serve for my axe. Alright,
Why not?
so I think I have the team for the pirate story. Alright, let's burn some blades first. Hey, Chipotle God. I've got no motivation for school anymore, which is terrible because next year is VCE for me. What's VCE?
Question.
I thought you would know. That sounded really American.
Well, seeing as how, according to this, it's for Australia, the Victorian Certificate of Education, not my purview.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
I wouldn't either.
But I would say enjoy school while you can. Once you graduate, man, it's a really different life.
Yep.
Sometimes I miss the simplicity of like being in school. I know a lot of people in school right now kind of hate it, but like when your only thing you have to worry about was just getting good grades. For the most part, I mean, I know some of you guys have like part-time jobs and have other worries and stuff, but for the most part, as a student, your biggest worry is getting good grades. Man, that wasn't very hard because like how to get good grades is like a pretty simplistic thing to do, you know? Yeah. Relative to other things like how to get promotion. If you actually think getting a promotion is all about hard work, I mean, in a lot of cases, yes, it is, but in other cases, no, it's not.
Not at all. In fact, it may seem like the complete opposite, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
For some people.
So, in some ways, I still miss, like, just schooling. Because it was just easy. It was like, getting a good grade, you already knew what you had to do.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean.
And you're always around friends every single day, too. Like, it was just a really simplistic life.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Alright. You know what I think about it? I don't really have a good red hero for this stuff.
Like I said, even just once you refine Brave Celica, she's basically good to go.
Yeah.
TA, of course, is always useful, but I use like a regular +1 Brave Celica. TA, that's it. And she sweeps.
Alright, I'm gonna look through my red heroes. I'm gonna double check here. Jonathan Hugen!
How to relieve face, gun. Y'all are not alone.
I like butchering his name. Jonathan, you're gonna be fine, man. Don't worry about it.
Can't speak to everybody's personal scenario, but yeah. I get it.
But I will be... Okay, you guys should not take this from me in any amount of seriousness, but I do want to share it. Because I'm somebody who did, in fact, well, when I was alive, graduate from school, get a degree, work, and then realize, my goodness, I hate all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I'm just like, well, were those years really well spent? In some ways, it helped grow me into the person I am. So, you know, there are life experiences to get out of schooling, even if that paper ends up being worthless. But on the other hand, man, that was like, what, how many years did I spend in school, you know? Like, and how much money did I put into that? So I'm not completely... Yeah, so I'm not completely sure, guys, if schooling is worth it. Don't tell your parents or anybody that this person you watch on the internet told you to quit your schooling. That would be very bad.
Ironically, mine agree, so...
Oh, cool. That's good.
I think we're getting to a point there's a slightly more progressive thought, like, ideology towards that. And I think it's going to become more accepted as time goes on.
Yeah. Because I mentioned this before in stream, but I talked about how there are a lot of jobs that pay really well, but nobody knows about or wants to do. If your only worry is to make money with as little schooling as debt as possible, there are some things that really make money and are still legal, which is really important.
Emphasis.
Yeah, that make a lot of money. So yeah, it just depends on whether you have the stomach for it, right?
Right. And the wherewithal to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just look for go-getters.
Yeah. So like, one of the... I mean, I'm not suggesting this for anybody, so please don't put that on me. But one of the things that I actually recognized, like really early on, if you, like, for example, if you're an American and you worked in the military, like you got your experience, you're in the field for a while, and the chance of dying in the field, even though like, hey, it's a war, actually it's not that likely you're ever gonna die, especially because you're, especially because you're in a well-trained and organized unit.
You might not even be in a area that has threats.
Right, but the thing is, like, you come out of that with like 3-4 years experience, Next thing you know, you're working as a bodyguard or as a private contractor. You're making so much money at that point.
That's what my friend's doing right now.
Right.
And he's totally fine with that.
Right. And you didn't need to go to school. Yes, your life is technically at danger. It's not the most amount of danger, but yeah, you're still in danger. But I'm just trying to point out, if it's about making money, there are a lot of easy paths, or relatively, I mean, it's still not easy, but it's simple. It's simpler, I guess.
It doesn't have to be. There's no such thing as
I mean, if it was that easy, it wouldn't pay well. That's part of it. But the other point I wanted to point across was like, it's like stuff you wouldn't even think about, but it pays well. Likewise, cleaning bodies would pay well, but you wouldn't think about that. But yeah, it's just I'm just saying, just keep your mind aware. If it's just about money, there are better things you can be doing. But yeah, try and find yourself in a career that you actually enjoy, rather than graduating and finding out you don't enjoy it, which is what I did. So yeah.
No, it definitely should be something that maintains a healthy mind and a healthy life. Doesn't matter. Well, it shouldn't be money first. Put that out there. It should not be. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a factor.
Yeah. Do you have Igrin? Oh yeah, Igrin would do really well. But it's funny how I have two Igrins who are subpar IVs. One's like minus attack, one's plus HP or something.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I know. There's no point in that case.
Yeah, I would realistically try to stick to one carry. Because realistically, as long as you just have one carry, it's a little easier to balance out the fights and not kind of overextend. Of course, dual Peony is absolutely broken in this mode.
School FO is only necessary for jobs that need like mechanic, machinist. I mean, some jobs you legitimately have to, but I'll be honest, like a lot of the jobs that you get, it just feels like, did I really need to get a degree for this? You know what I mean? Like, everything I learned in school was how applicable was it for this actually? Because I guess schooling just wants to ensure you have a standard, right? Like you can at least do this much. But yeah, it does feel a bit silly sometimes.
And it does kind of feel like it puts you into the mindset that this is the way that people go about life. This is how it should be, right? Like education, get into a good degree and good job. That's the way it should be, right? Doesn't have to be that way. It's just how institutions have looked at it. If we're being totally honest, it's how colleges want to keep getting income.
Yeah. Wait a second. Am I using Gale Force or Astra?
I use Gale Force personally.
But don't you only get to use it once?
Yes, but on the other hand, you do get the extra damage multipliers for each combat you enter in, and better positioning.
Huh.
I'm not exactly sure about the total logistics, but another thing, of course, to note is that Celica very reliably gets that Gale Force off, even if she doesn't plot.
Because I'm thinking of... Because if it's Astra, I can use it multiple times with each refresh. I usually run... My entire team is just basically like one offensive unit and then just a bunch of refreshers. That's it.
Yep, that's what I do as well.
What?
I just
then why
that one unit is Gale Force. More actions. Each action, again, every time you attack the Rooker, you're getting an extra damage multiplier. So I haven't run the numbers, but the damage isn't exactly like as big a gap as it might seem.
Huh.
And not to mention, like in the first combat, for example, you only get one Astra. For example.
Okay.
I don't know.
What's
like
Gale
I said,
Force?
I've never calculated it. What's Gale Force? Good question.
Because she's quadding. I don't know how many I'm not sure how many Gale Forces she's. How many Astras she's gonna get? Because I think that might overwhelm any advantage of an extra turn.
I don't know. It might. It might.
All right, I'm gonna try it this way. That's what it made sense to me when I first started doing these.
Yeah, that's I've just always had the preference to use Gale Force, but being totally honest, I don't know logistically which one is better.
Are you ever watching a new season of Rick and Morty, Nims? No one's really mentioned that to me for a long time. I love Rick and Morty, but yeah. Did you guys know Rick and Morty used to play on YouTube? Like on live streaming? It wasn't copyrighted for the longest time, so people just kept streaming it. Of course, now it's completely shut down, but yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch it a lot, but then yeah. It's not as easily accessible to me because I'm Canadian, so I don't have access as easily.
Yeah, and convenience is everything.
Yeah.
Always a struggle to find that brief Celica.
Oh my god. She has such a stupid haircut. How do I not see her?
She's right below Alm.
Right below Alm?
Well, to the left.
Okay.
But yeah.
I guess I got CLD. I'll take shove.
Might as well. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know which one absolutely does better. I just personally prefer the extra action. Just how I've always operated.
Did you know Rick and Morty's now in Fortnite?
Why doesn't that surprise me?
You know, isn't like Martin Luther Jr.
What?
I'm just saying, like, didn't they have like entire? I don't know. I've seen memes of it. Like, oh hey, kids are learning about segregation in Fortnite. I'm like, what? What the heck? I have no idea. I don't play Fortnite.
I don't either.
I don't know. I don't even know if that meme's real, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was. Yeah, MLK is in Fortnite. So,
what are they doing?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I do not understand them. Flashing Blade? Fine.
Huh?
Royal Sword has that.
Oh wait, yeah, it does.
Royal Sword is designed with Gale Force in mind.
Yeah.
I just run Deathblow. I mean, I guess you could also run attack defense for him, but yeah.
Yeah, don't need that.
Might as well just go all out attacking. Or maybe some no, you got TA. You're gonna take 1 damage from the Rucker right away.
Yeah. Isn't Travis Scott from Fortnite?
And he's got a cool burger.
Wasn't his burger pretty plain?
Probably.
Guys, do you remember when they did that promotion with that K-pop boy band?
Yep.
And it was just large fries, nuggets with special sauce. I couldn't even believe it. I never bought it, but I was just so confused. Yeah, BTS. I was so confused. I was just... I couldn't believe the BTS meal is just a normal meal with large fries and different sauces. I'm like, oh, okay. I can't believe they even marketed that. It was just like, it's not that I have anything against BTS. It's that you're literally not trying. It is exactly the same thing you're selling. You know, you didn't even make a new item. It's the same thing.
Pretty much. I mean, I guess it's just the big thing recently, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think Faye is mega power crept? It's a inevitability.
In a new way, I don't think the stat creep is actually... Like, yeah, it looks like it, but I don't think stat creep is as important these days as weapons. Weapons have gotten dramatically better in the past year or so, and that has fundamentally changed the way power creep is going on. Yeah. Where now, even if you have good stats, like, for example... Kale 2 is getting her Resplendent soon, and she actually hits a very competent 37 base speed. But compared to... Well, but with the weapons available to her compared to the weapons we have now, she has no chance. Even if you have a plus 10 Tail 2, there are units whose weapon alone can make them objectively better than her. Add mech merge right out the gate for them.
Yeah.
Ishtar, even. So that's really where power creep is right now, in my opinion.
I do want to point out that ICE is undergoing anti-power creep right now.
In a way, yeah.
They're trying to make it really hard for any unit to get power crept and replaced directly in the future. The problem is anti-power creep is still power creep because the unit that you're doing this to is automatically better than every other unit. That was
or
similar.
at the very least, never is going to have competition.
Right.
In what they do. Like, for example, Gatekeeper, obviously, no, I don't think it's worth saying that she is the that he is the super meta threat that everybody's going to fear, but he's never going to have competition, and he's always going to be a threat, or at least an anchor to the meta, and that's not going to change. So, not power crept, but not contested.
My turn?
It's a slight difference.
Well, the thing is, like, the other hero that it's much more clear on is Legendary Sigurd. Yep. Not only is he like 100% better than base Sigurd, he's actually gone out of his way and basically killed Self as well. Now Self has DC and he's supposed to use DC, I get it, but technically you could just give Sigurd DC and he would just do Self's job basically as well. But on the other side, Self can't possibly keep up offensively like Sigurd can, you know?
See, the thing with Sigurd is, yeah, he's a great unit, but his unit does not matter whatsoever. It's all Holy Knight Aura. That is the only thing that defines him in any serious capacity in the meta, and that's the only thing that will probably define him for years to come, and make him probably one of the most consistent threats for a very long time.
Yeah.
That one skill alone justifies the existence of Sigurd for years.
I'll clear a path.
So, yeah, he's a great unit, and yeah, he is probably better than Sigurd in some ways. Base one. And definitely better than Self in most. But Holy Knight Aura means that even if it just dies, like, for example, I use Gustav, he does like 3 damage to Gustav and gets killed immediately. But it doesn't even matter when now everybody has 1 extra movement and attack. So,
I'll clear a path.
it doesn't matter where Sigurd goes in the meta, even if he just completely falls off as a unit, which I doubt. He'll always have something that holds him in high regards to the meta for years to come. That's all that matters.
So, yeah, it's relatively silly. I mean, I understand what they're going for, but yeah, it's still silly.
Yeah. But like you said, it definitely is, in its own way, anti.
Unfortunately, once it happens, it just climbs even if it's unintentional. In retrospect, the modern units are just
yeah, I think that's a better way to look at it.
I'll clear a path.
Power creep nowadays is relative
What's your plan?
to a larger scale.
I'll clear a path.
Like, yeah, we'll still get units every once in a while that are never going to be worse over time.
Sounds good.
Like, just by their own merits of not having anything to hold themselves up. But it's pretty easy nowadays to see units that are going to be dead on arrival and units that will probably never fall out of favor in the meta. And realistically, it's becoming easier and easier to be confident in that statement. Like, for example, I don't think Young Eunice is ever going to really fall off. Like, yeah, we might have more competition from over time, but anti-damage reduction, high offensive slaying archer, that's just going to counter more and more units as time goes on and makes him one of the better free-to-play options.
Yep.
But somebody like Arate, for example, who is a mage cav, which is rare, and could use things like Blade Tome, for example, Trace, it's cool. But she doesn't bring anything unique to the table outside of the class, and where she's already kind of mediocre in that regard.
Time to go.
She's dead on arrival, and realistically, while yes, you can justify a niche for her, it's just a niche that's going to eventually get crept. And even now, like, if you just have a standard dual leaf, because weapons are so good, you can just use a standard dual leaf and do everything Arate does but better, and have serious meta threat presence at the same time. And there's nothing that can change that. So,
you know the funny thing about what you're mentioning?
What's that?
Well, that's true. You gotta remember Peleus just got released.
Yeah.
Who basically just anally destroyed Hubert.
Yeah. To be fair, Hubert is one of the unfortunate poster children of that cutoff. I feel so bad for him. Right before the BST jump, right before we started getting into what I think is the serious power creep era, like once weapons started getting 5 to all stats consistently, I think that's when it really hit the modern era. Hubert was right before, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is one depressing unit to look at.
Got it.
So yeah, chat, like, it's funny. Well, I'm glad in a lot of ways because I feel like IS has learned their lesson on this stuff. It just feels like for some units it's too late. I mean, for the predominantly majority of units it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, there are some exceptions, and I think a lot of Book 2 units and beyond are actually starting to... Like, there was a point, for example, with Refinery, where I think Refines started getting markedly better, and now a lot of Refines are at least going to be usable for quite a while, even if they're not amazing. Some exceptions exist, like how Ares and Elmigan's Refine is kind of whatever. But realistically, older units that have better refines nowadays are actually getting a better chance to kick. But units from before then, who didn't even come in with a refinery before this whole new era started, screwed. Just straight up screwed. Like, aside from some very niche, lucky units like Elcorn's Yato, most units do not have anything to justify their use, no matter how much they try.
Yep.
And while you can argue a niche, like for example, Raven's Resplendent actually makes him pretty good with Basilicos Refine, gives him competent offenses and slaying. That's it.
Yep.
You can just use a Charlotte and immediately do better than even plus 10 Raven. Like, he's one of the better cases, is the worst part. Because he's refined so early, because he's such an old unit, and nice clear, screwed. There's nothing you can do. And unless we get re-refinery, which I don't even want to open up that can of worms, it's just a fact we have to accept. You can make units competent. One thing with FA is that you can always make a unit usable. But there is no denying that, especially with older units, they'll never be good.
It'll never, yeah, you can't catch up. It's not even realistic.
No, it isn't. There are very few units in the older era that could even possibly hope to attain that. And dear God, if you're a Gen 1 seasonal unit that doesn't have a weapon refine now, or a signature weapon, there's no saving you. You are actually just strictly outclassed and will never have a chance, ever. At least for the foreseeable future. So, that's the way the meta is, as far as I see it.
The funny thing is, they had an opportunity to do something about this, especially for older units. So, for Dragonflowers, when it first came out, we celebrated it as a way to balance things out, and I think that was the intention, because Gen 1 units got 10 flowers, right? If you're infantry Gen 1, you got 10 flowers. Everybody else got 5. So you could get a stat advantage in a way. However, every year afterwards, they've just been increasing it by 5.
Which is, to be fair, the BST increase by a year. For the most part. Sure,
but I'm saying if the intention was to balance it out, at least through stats, it needs to be more than 5.
The way I see, I don't think it's that. That's the problem. It's the fact that the initial wave didn't really set the stage correctly. If they just kept going up by 5 every year and having it compete directly with BST, I think that'd be all right. But the fact that it's 5 every year and some units are so far behind that they just can't catch up is a problem. Like, for example, our last gen units now have 10 Dragonflowers. So like, for example, Guinevere now has 10 Dragonflowers and thus could keep up with the 5 BST gap between her and Marianne, Brave. But, for example, Sheena is a Gen 1 armor, and yet because she was cursed to have 5 Dragonflowers, she hits now effectively 185 BST, where modern armors are hitting 190, theoretically. So, being at that disadvantage so early just really set a sour stage.
Well, no, I'm just saying, the point was, like, you can see it very clearly that there wasn't much of an intention to balance things out.
Time to go.
Yeah.
If they
At
wanted
least
to
at
balance things
first.
out, they needed to at least do these things, and they didn't do these things.
I think it's getting better, but the retroactive damage is not being undone.
Yeah. It feels like they didn't plan this out well enough. And to be honest, guys, it's not completely their fault. I don't think most developers plan their games on lasting this long.
No, I don't think that I expected Faye to be the single highest grossing Nintendo-based IP for gachas. Or mobile games.
I don't even think Nintendo expected her. Well, I actually have no idea what Nintendo expects anymore. They're so freaking weird with how they do things.
I think they expected Mario to do well, but Mario's got mobile games keep dying.
Oh yeah.
Like you'd think that the big time Mario IP is going to be the one that lasts, but it's Fire Emblem Heroes, where Fire Emblem has a distinctly niche fandom in comparison to Mario or Pokemon or anything like that.
Yep.
You wouldn't think this is where the big money is, so you wouldn't necessarily plan it out that far in advance. And if I am being totally honest, Fire Emblem Heroes had a lot going on at launch, but also a lack of direction, and a lot of the early updates really just fundamentally kept changing it. So the ripples of that kept going. Kept older units behind, or older content behind.
Hmm.
Let us go.
Nintendo. I don't even want to remark on Nintendo.
Yes. What now?
It's not like I don't understand. It's just, man.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, to be fair, they did try, guys. They didn't want to make like these monetization gacha games at the start. Wasn't their like first Nintendo game, like full-on Nintendo game? Wasn't it Mario Run or something?
Yeah, I think it was Run, which, to be honest, I didn't even play, so I wouldn't be able to tell you anything.
Okay, well, the reason why I brought that up was because it actually was meant to be like, hey, you pay one time and that's all you have to pay, and you can just keep playing like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that doesn't make money, and it didn't even sell that well initially either, so it has no future profits, and its initial profits weren't great either, so yeah, it's not like they didn't try. They did, it's just it didn't lead to anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Mitomo died. I was really sad about that because I actually interacted with a lot of my older high school friends with Mitomo, and it just died. Isn't half of Mario Run under a paywall? I mean, yeah, that's the point. They need to make money somehow.
Old games can't be 100% free.
Forward.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Sleep well.
Got it.
I'll clear a path.
What now? What's your plan?
Okay, should have switched that a bit earlier.
I will not abandon you.
It's so nice to use Leaf as well. Just having all these extra action characters together.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's part of why I value Gale Force so much. I love actions, but yeah, between Leaf and Edelgard, you just have two easy extra actions you can use every turn. Or in Edelgard's case, 3.
Yeah, so how fast do you finish these?
Turn 3 with Celica, but in the first round I used Legion and was able to turn 2.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, whatever. It's still turn 3, so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast you finish it, as long as you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, turn 3 was pretty. Like, I could probably turn 2 with Celica if I optimized, but I didn't.
Mario Run came out way before AC Pocket Camp. I still remember starting Pocket Camp after Fire Emblem Heroes. Because we actually played Pocket Camp upon launch, and my dream was making a cactus camp. It was just filled with cactus. That's all I wanted to do.
I love the gimmick ones.
Oh, there's been new stuff in Langrisser. I haven't noticed. I haven't played it an entire past week. Super busy nowadays. When are refines of Seawell 3? Isn't that like in a week?
A week. The update, I believe, is on the 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Double checking with myself because I keep forgetting when it's happening. Yeah, 5th.
Okay.
So we should, between the 31st and the 4th, put it this way, the trailer should be on the 4th. We have, it can't be today, the 30th. Or I guess tomorrow, depending on time zones. Realistically, that means that between Tuesday and Friday is our announcement. Okay. And actually, because it shouldn't be the day before, that means it's between Tuesday and Thursday that we have our announcement. And if anything, it's probably going to be on Tuesday. So, yeah.
Saban, thank you for the follow. Okay, yeah. So that's likely time. We're gonna do some projections for it when it comes out, but yeah, not till I mean, at least when it announces it, at least.
If I expect anything, it'll probably be Choose Your Legends, but also some legendary finds, because this is remix month with Ephraim and Hector's legendary remixes coming up.
Oh, you know, I feel bad for Ephraim.
See, here's the thing. Ephraim actually could become pretty good.
He could, but the standards are... Do you realize how sad this is? Ephraim can't even beat a better Ephraim than Erica.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously effed.
He's gonna have... I think he's actually gonna have a really good role going for him, especially since he can kind of score well. But Erica is gonna be the best lance cav, and there's no real competition, and I don't think Ephraim can do that. So, between Flame Sigmund Refined and Solar Brace 2, I actually think he might be the second best lance cav, potentially. But I'm not gonna have any hope for best.
Yeah.
Hector, on the other hand, though, is a really curious one, because Ostea's Pulse is already a very solid skill, as is Thunder Armots. So, I'm curious to see how they make that guy better, because potentially Hector could be one of the best axe armors. We'll have to see. But I don't know with these refines, though. This could be a very spicy batch, but it is coming off the most underwhelming Choose Your Legends batch, to be fair.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Legendary heroes get refines? Yes. Yeah. Man, maybe I should make a video for like what are you missing in Fire Emblem Heroes or something. I think that might be a decent video. But yeah, there's a lot of things that they have been trying to do to balance the game out. Unfortunately,
I mean, it's working for the units that are getting them.
Yeah, it's just like it's...
Refine for legendary Ephraim.
I mean, let's be honest, did anybody expect Female Agreement to actually be good?
With Flame Sigmund Low.
The thing is, like, the problem is, it's just inconsistent, right? Because it feels like in the past year, the focus has been put on properly. For the most part, I think they've been executing correctly in the past year. It's just, you needed to execute properly prior to the past year, considering this game is way more than just 1 year, you know?
Like I said, they've been getting better, but what's done is done. Yeah. And there's a couple hundred units that are
in such a bad
predominantly duped.
Yeah.
Some exceptions exist for them, but a lot of units are duped. So, when I say be happy when your unit doesn't have a refine yet, I mean that.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely comes through when your refine is later. Or any other upgrades, for that matter.
Alright.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm just finishing some stuff. I'm almost done. Gordon's barely hanging in there. I love how you say that.
Gordon is among what I would say the lucky ones. The fact that he has attack defense rain on a Brave Bow is better than many units can lay claim to.
You know,
Even
it's so
Klein,
funny.
I think is worse.
Remember, I still, okay, let's put things in perspective, guys. I remember when Nino got her refined, I was so excited. I was just like, oh, wow, she guarantee buffs herself. Because, wave skills back then were still pretty cool. Nowadays,
I mean,
I'm like...
People always hated them, but yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like, wow, that Tharja girl, you really got away with this.
Better refine. Oh.
I know, it's just funny. Nowadays, for example, with Nino, her most ideal build is attack, res, menace in C slot. In other words, you have no need, or attack speed, yeah. In other words, you have no need at all whatsoever to go for her unique refine. You would have to, you generally speaking, just go for like extra speed or extra attack. Probably extra speed, but you know what I mean.
Those refines are the worst. The ones that are so bad on their actual refine effect that you just don't even refine it for that. You need stat refine.
Yeah.
Like, looking back, for example, I always like to bash him, but Hinata's refine, in my opinion, is the worst in the entire game. It's a sturdy stance 2 sword with Fury 3 on a slow physical tank.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
What do you even do with that? Like, I remember being hyped up back then. Oh, Hinata didn't get TA. He got stats. He got some decent stats.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, we had that talk. I think I was like really disturbed by the fact that Obro and Hinata looked like they should have switched refines.
Yeah, no kidding. Because Obro almost has speed.
The number
Hinata
of
did not.
units is in the order of magnitude as the number of Pokemon, and we may even reach a point where there's more units like Pokemon. And in Pokemon, there's a crap ton of critters.
Are you just trying to say Pokemon as much as you can?
Competitively, and those
yeah, wait a
are the
minute.
ones who won't get improved ever.
I get what you're getting at, though. Basically, the point is from that.
Pokemon is bad.
Pokemon
I understand.
Yeah. Some Pokemon are designed to be terrible, and some units in Fae are designed to be less than good. Some Pokemon were designed to be good, but just got power crept over time because newer and better stuff has more options, more unique options to make them more stand out. And while some older Pokemon can actually get some good buffs and actually skyrocket in usage, others aren't so lucky.
Pokemon.
Same thing happens in Fae. Pokemon. Same thing happens in Fae. Sometimes you're Melkorin, sometimes you're Hinata.
Oh, well, to be fair, Melkorin and Zane are best friends.
Yep.
So it's not like he was completely hopeless, it's just like the use case is so specific right now.
Well, I meant Melkorin is a good thing. He's got one of the best refines for an early refine.
Oh, well, what the heck? I didn't interpret that as at all.
Well, I mean, sometimes you're Melkorin, one of the better and more usable early refines, and sometimes you're Hinata, I kind of actually wish it was just Triangle Adept.
Wait, what's the chat? What's the best Gen 1 refine?
And
sorry, what's the worst and best?
Some of the early Gen refines are very.
Actually, that's not fair. Because there are still Gen 1 heroes without refines.
And some
best refines in year 1. Sorry, there you go. Yeah. That's a better wording. 2018,
2019 era. Because if we're talking all Gen 1, then Arden would probably be the best, because that refine is insane.
Eliwood kind of is unfair, because it's just...
Yeah, okay, no Brave Heroes, because if we're going to go into that, then Lucina, Ike, and Eliwood all have amazing refines.
Yeah.
Eliwood. Nobody else. Nobody else got that refine.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ira? What? She's
Sigma
Sensei. You're not paying attention, are you? Sigma Sensei. Take that Sensei out of your name. Tsubaki is fun. I still use him a ton. Unfortunately, like, nobody uses him, and he's not even from... The worst part is, like, he's not even that early.
Yeah, his refine's actually on the later side, but Selena's is actually relatively early. I would actually agree with that.
Oh, ooh.
I'll agree with that. After Mystic Boost Seal, I'll definitely agree with that.
I can think of a parallel of this subject with card games. The main difference is that having bad cards in a card game actually is a whole part of the game's design, since it opens up ways for the player to discover how to make them work, which is part of the fun. One with nothing from MDG comes to mind. Double Lion Refine was actually riled back in 2019.
Yeah, I know. And then over time, because we got the Mystic Boost thing, we got Mystic Boost. We didn't have Mystic Boost, right? Yeah, we didn't. And then
we didn't even have the skill, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got Mystic Boost Seal and whatnot. It just, yeah, that really spiraled and made Alm like a god for a lot of time.
He still is actually really solid, if I'm being totally honest. Great pickup Dragon Killer and pretty solid Brave Weapon user, all things considered. Like, you could definitely do a lot worse than Alm, as far as keeping in mind that Alm's Refine was at the same time as the Marth and the Bond Falchion. I think somebody clearly won in that set.
Yeah.
I think there's some ones that are like almost winners, like George, for example. You could argue almost won because he got attack +6 and 30% damage reduction against ranged, but it just didn't work for him.
Oh yeah, I feel bad because when George got his Refine initially, I was like, oh my god, George is amazing. And the other thing was like, George was really, like, he was the hardest hitting archer.
Yeah.
People don't remember that.
He had a 14 might +6 bow with decent attack. Like, George actually was a really solid mage killer at the time and in concept. That didn't last.
As a comment on the subject of card games, bad cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Can become broken overnight with the introduction of new mechanics or archetypes.
Well, bad units in Fae can technically get helped by skills. Technically. Like,
okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Banned a lot of cards that were really useful too. That's not an option here.
Pot of Greed. Yeah,
right?
We don't have ban lists
I still can't even believe it. Like, stuff like Mirror Force got banned. Pot of Greed, obviously. Dark Hole. Like, we can go on and on about that, but the point is just, like, you don't have the same options here either. If something is too broken Fae, it's staying. I feel like
it's subjective.
Huh? Oh, I guess.
In a lot of cases, it's subjective. Like, for example, some people say Fallen Natal Guard is a joke to deal with, and other people say that there is another card or unit to deal with.
We're all right.
It's kinda nostalgic, not gonna lie. Feel like Home was one of the last refines that was both functional and had a very clean reference.
Wow.
One of the first refines, I'd say. Oh yeah.
Got it.
Excalibur on Sonya is actually still one of the better refines as well.
Friends, I will not abandon you.
But yeah, I'll agree. Alm's Refine felt, I mean, to be fair, that entire batch you could argue was referential, but Alm's was the most functional in that regard. So that says a lot.
I also don't even want Falling Natal Guard to be banned, to be clear, chat. Like, I'm glad she got so good.
Yeah, it's a dirty pleasure for me to say I like Fallen Natal Guard, but I'm a legendary armor enjoyer, so it is.
I mean, you're like, ugh. The amount of glue eating you do in your teams.
Yeah, let's talk about how I use Brave Hector, Fallen Natal Guard, Gustav, and Henriette consistently every season.
Yeah, you guys want to know the worst thing about all of this? It's just like, oh my god. The thing is, with Legion, like, okay, okay, here. I got Henriette. I have still not used Henriette in Ether raids. Like, I got Savior units. I still don't use Savior units because I just feel like, my goodness, this just turns into end turn fest, you know? I can't stomach it. That's why I don't bother with it. Legion's just like, oh boy, this is tons of fun. Let's keep doing it.
Savior unit go brrr.
Yeah, yep. I know.
Forward.
That is exactly how it is. That is absolutely how it is. Once I got Gustav and Henriette, I never looked back. The only time I don't use them is when I'm using Fallen Natal Guard.
Got it.
I'm thankful that with Fallen Natal Guard, you won't really see save skills on her. That's where you're wrong, Mr. Accountant.
Actually, in Ether Raid's defense, you do. And some offense teams.
Nah. The other thing is, you have not been considering the chaos scenario. Which is Quad Fallen Edelgard. Close save, far save. One has arm march and one has solo. Enjoy your future. That's the future.
Friends, I will not
Enjoy the
abandon
future
you.
of no follow-up win sweep.
You know, that's actually so hilariously bad in those scenarios because there's like nothing you can do about it. And for most people, even if you have a Fallen Edelgard counter, you can't take on 4.
What's your plan?
Yeah.
Maybe
That's the big thing is, once you start dealing with multiple good Fallen Edelgards, there's a very slim chance most comps can deal with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
At least in good time before
Yes?
the other team just kills you.
Got it.
Do I like red Gyarados? Yes.
It's good shiny.
Hey, Pika.
But yeah, I don't use Savior Fallen Edelgard, and I probably won't because I don't have the option. Well, see, here's the funny thing. I just kind of maybe not just form a soul Howling Myrrh with near save, so I could.
So
I absolutely could.
the Fallen Edelgard thing, though, you may right now say you don't really see her a lot. But here's the thing. She hasn't been on Legendary. Well, she's about to be. But she hasn't been on, like... People have not had the opportunities to go for her as often as people... I know this might blow people's minds up, but, like... You do realize she has been here around a quarter of a year, right? A quarter.
Yep.
It's
One banner.
Yeah. It feels like she's been here a lot longer. So when but she hasn't. She's still really friggin' new. It just doesn't feel like that at all because everyone just keeps talking about her and it feels like she's been here for years, but she's not.
Yep.
So the reality is, like, when you say you don't see her a lot right now, that's because people haven't had a lot of opportunities to get her right now. You're going to see in a year, and I'm like willing to bet that we're going to see full Edelgard teams in the future. I mean, we've already seen it now, but like just straight up full Edelgard teams.
Yep. Now, of course, if you have good counterplay into them, for example, a good Brave Erica that has good recovery support, could probably take them all on. But counters are counters, and not everybody has them, and they might not always work for every single Edelgard. You get one down.
Understood. Forward.
The argument for Legend Sigurd, I get, because you're right on that, but
Well,
Sigurd's a bit weird.
One off.
Yeah.
And
He's
I
not
guess
the
he's
norm
supposed to be-
here.
No. His banner had really high gross for a reason. And to be fair, Fallen Edelgard scales off merges much more
Friends,
than
I will
Sigurd.
not abandon
A
you.
+0 Fallen Edelgard has more exploitable weaknesses than haha, Holy Knight Aura, my team go first. Like, support units do not need merges. Carries do. So that's part of it. Plus, even though Fallen Edelgard was sparkable, first of all, some people just cared more about Menace on the Morgans, and I guess some people cared about Dimitri. But also, it's just one copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's really the thing.
The other thing is, people forget this, but when Edelgard came out, people kind of forgot how stupid armor heroes could be. There just wasn't a dominant armor hero at that point anymore.
Armor meta had fallen off right up until, I would say right before Savior meta, armors were probably at their worst, where it was actually arguable that armors were useless.
Yeah, so that's why, like, it's not the best argument, in my opinion, because it's just, it was a very peculiar time.
I would say that my Flith took on 3 Fidel guards at once in R, but Spurn Steady Breath Ether is kinda cheating.
Oh yeah, if you have a good counter build into Edelgard, of course it's gonna work out.
Sleep well.
And of course, one thing to note, the meta was, like you said, not ready when Edelgard came out.
Got it.
I think as time's going on, people are starting to develop counters,
Mhm.
and of course IS is pushing counters. But I think over time, we're gonna see more and more people that can just have counterplay into her.
Let us go.
So, I don't know. Like, yeah, we're gonna see more Edelgards over time, but the more we see her, the more we accept her in the meta. Hate her. the more counters there are going to be, and the more she kind of shows her quote-unquote weaknesses. Now, I don't think we're ever going to go back to early 2020 where armors were largely forgotten. But I also don't think Edelgard will be the meta unit forever.
Well, the thing is, people want to underplay her as well, which bothers me a lot, because I don't think that's going to happen. When people say, like, hey, this is going to be a Surtur situation, I'm like, no, this is not the same. Not at all.
Not the same. Not the same. Because of one thing and one thing alone, Gale Force. She can absolutely, like, it's not even the fact, I mean, I guess you can argue then Savior, but it's not just the fact that she's pressuring, it's the fact that she can backline you. Like, if you let her get any time, it doesn't matter how far away she is. If she gets an extra action, you're gonna have to deal with those repercussions. Like, the unique effect Edelgard has is more largely threatening. At least in my opinion, but she'll get Surtur to a degree, I think, but not to the same degree. And this kind of wraps back around to the idea that power creep is in a way hyper active, but also plateauing in that units are gonna get outclassed more slowly, if at all.
I'ma predict when Edelgard will get in the
I don't know.
future.
It's hard to speculate, but I do think that Edelgard will fall off.
She can give you 4 actions
Barely.
in 1 unit. Expect her in 2 or 3 years.
Harmonized Gale Force Dancer.
Yes.
Look, what you're really looking for is Child Edelgard.
Yeah,
That's the one.
that Edelgard is going to happen when we get a young 3 Houses banner. And it's probably going to be enemies. Expect it. It's going to happen.
I'll cut my own path.
We all know it's going to happen. And we're not looking forward to it. Even if that Edelgard is not armored.
With Gravity Trap, work on Fallen Edelgard. Yes, her HP's kind of crap.
Not that kind of Gravity Trap necessarily. We could also be talking Gravity Staff or...
yeah?
Unless we got or Stall Ploy. Or Stall Ploy.
Yeah, I guess. Stall Ploy is kind of made for, yeah.
The Stall Ploy is just made for Sigurd, but Edelgard can certainly be a victim of it as well. Big thing with Gravity nowadays is that there's more with safety fence hit and run Gravity strats that are going to go around over time. So, in that regard, you could definitely use that as a way to stop Edelgard's pursuit. And I mean, even in like, I guess it's not really good arena options for Gravity is there, but still.
I think we'll see an inflow of characters anti-guard soon. Yeah, I mean, it's already started. Erica was like, I get why, but yeah.
Yeah, well, guard was literally becoming the, you slap that on a unit and they become infinitely better. So, why not counter that? Now, I think that it's still very much worth running guard skills because there's not going to be enough anti-guard going around to realistically counter the skill as a whole, but you can't just accept that guard is no more work going forward. Like you could even during Byleth's time, where Byleth was the only unit that could counter guard. So, going forward, definitely not as safe to be using like Special Fighter or Stance 3s at all times, and knowing that they're going to work. Just inevitable.
Sorry, Decade. I just want Soleil to get better. Also, yeah, her refine should be any day now, right? So.
Probably not any day, because if CYL refines are taking the whole stage...
You know what? I don't know what any day is anyways, because I've been saying Azur's refines any day now, and it's now 2021, and 2021's ending soon, so... Yeah, I have no idea what any day is.
I mean, hey, like I said before, she'll get a good one, most likely, because it's been so long. It's not going to be like TA with Torrent Dance. Or like, it's not going to be like Performing Arts Azura's Refine weapon on top of TA. It'll be better than that.
You're getting my hopes up, and that's a terrible thing because I've been waiting forever.
I mean, hey, I had to wait for my Legion Refine, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, you got lucky there.
Oh no, just watch as young Edelgard is better than Fidel to her being armored and doing everything Fidel can do, even making it so
watch as
whatever weapon
this
she has
young
removes
Edelgard
weapon
has
triangle
speed.
bonus and penalty,
That would be
just so
dangerous.
she has no weaknesses.
Yeah, watch her be. Watch her have no weaknesses. Yeah, honestly,
Huh?
I want to make a video about that. But Child Heroes might actually be the secretly most impactful kind of banners in all of Fae. Kind of.
Kind of. I mean,
The first banner was definitely that, but the second banner was not
most.
quite as much. Unfortunately, because the thing is, I feel like young Leon should have been that. If anybody has gotten their ass beat by a young Leon, you kind of realize like, hey, he's not just good in theory, he's just straight up good.
he is good. It's just the fact that Micaiah's there. But Leon is bar few one of the best emotes we've ever had in the 4-star pool, even if he's seasonal. Especially for seasonals at that. So, in my opinion, young banners are just definitively the best time to pick up a 4-star hero. Because even at the worst, I would say it's Mini Nerva, and that's saying a lot because Mini Nerva is amazing. So, you can't go wrong with the demotes. The 5 stars, I'd say, are actually, by and large, just above average. With the exception of Lara Shell. Kind of. Because Young Cheetah, I think, is amazing, but not to the degree some people make her out to be. She's just a really consistently effective unit. Dual Pala is actually just kind of whatever nowadays.
Okay, fine. Let me put it this way: what
Yeah.
other special heroes banners like as consistently stupid?
It's consistently Dancer.
Really?
I mean,
Dancer banner? Really? Wow, I'm surprised by
at least, especially the last one. And I mean, Hardy. If we are talking respective to the time, Micaiah's Hardy bearing weapon.
Fair enough. I agree. To put things in perspective, chat, when the first Dancer banner came out, we didn't even have 5 dancers in the game. So all of a sudden we like doubled the amount of dancers in the game, and we're like, oh cool, this is amazing.
And we have range dancers now. And we have performing as Azura, who is the only perf dancer at the time.
Yeah, and the thing about range dancers was that it wasn't obvious either, but those people who were like more experienced in the game recognized, hey, the AI treats this quite differently, having range dancers. So yeah, it did change things.
And you can even technically use them, kind of, because Inigo with Raventone was actually pretty popular for a time.
Yeah.
So there was actually some serious viability in those dancers relative to that time. Obviously, they all fell off, but that banner was one of the most impactful banners in 2017, in my opinion. And then 2018, we get the Hardy Bearing Daggers, which are still used to this day. And we get Micaiah, who is still one of the better dancers on account of Hardy Bearing. Fell off, but still okay. 2019's Dancer banner was that the Valentian one? I think so. Or the mixed one with Berkut, Renea, and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess Nephany was the one who was really shining in that one.
Renea actually is a really good demote dancer. Distant Guard on her Goblet is actually a really good skill, and we didn't have a lot of a good range dancer demote.
Yeah, I get that, but remember back then when Nephany released, our best like infantry archer was still Bridal Cordy, and she was just basically Bridal Cordy but dances.
Yeah, that was awkward, to say the least. The way the dire situation archers were in. Needless to say, Nephany took the stage. And Berkut was, of course, really cool. He was basically just a better Azura.
Oh, I didn't like that. It was just like, why make Azura then?
Yeah.
He even dances better, which doesn't even make sense. Really quickly, for the question of should Fallen Earguard use save skills, only if you have a dragon and beast team would I do it. If she does not transform, she's very easy to contain. Well, not very easy, but she's much more reasonable.
I'd actually say she's pretty easy at that point, because you can just tap her for days. Like, she's very prone. So I would only use her, like you said, with beasts and dragons, but in those comps, she is one of the best power save units. So there is that.
How many Cav dancers do we have now? One.
One.
For good reason.
And that's why I was going to say 2020. Cav dancer. Sigurd is probably the single most influential dancer that has ever existed, besides Peony.
I'm a monster.
And even then, I would actually argue maybe more so, because let's be honest, the most threatening Ether Raids defense teams have a very high chance of breaking Sigurd. Blame Sigurd for everything. We got Ethlyn's actually pretty underrated. Great wind sweep dagger user. ARD attack speed is really good as well. Do I even have to say anything about Eldigan?
Yeah.
It is isolation king, anti-isolation king when it comes to that stuff.
That's why we're like really interested in seeing what happens in this this special heroes banner when it comes to dancers, because can it live up to, I don't know, dancers seem like a lot more restrictive, because they've already tried offensive dancers, they already tried extra movement on dancers. Like, what are you actually going to do at this point?
I don't know. And that's why it's so interesting, because last year's dancer banner did a lot of things that previous dancer banners weren't really thinking about. Isolation crew, for example, actual combat role, like serious combat role, and not just you could. Cav dancer, of course, is meta defining. Like that banner in particular just changed the way we look at dancers.
You know, I just realized we could have armor dancers, and this it would be so backwards. It's just, nobody wanted this IS. No, they might actually try that, to be honest, just
they
because.
Could, but what if it's Edelgard and level of movement?
Oh, well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, what if they had like 2 movement or like a self orders buff, but were a dancer, so they have high BST and can still be used as a unit, but they are also mobile like a normal dancer.
Of the AI for RD. Now we need a shift in favor of the player. I'm hoping for modern one-tap go force into dance units who are good at the roll out of the box.
That's likely what's going to happen. They're actually like, if you think about it as like an experienced player, what can they really do at this point? There's not that many options left.
But then again, they always find ways to surprise us. I mean, look at Marianne. She's a dancer that's not a dancer. Based entirely in her special instead.
For all the gripes we have about the game, the constantly shifting intricacies of the game keeps
I'll
us
absolutely agree
entertained.
with that. I mean, some mechanics are just kind of like whatever. Like, stall, for example, was just kind of it's just an effect. But I think that the meta shifts we do see, aside from the really griping, irritating ones like Sigurd, do keep the meta in a very dynamic state, and sometimes actually make some units that people previously overlooked better. Such as, like, for example, again, Milla made Hoshiden Festival Xander actually look really appealing, because he could avoid isolation while still being a ranged unit. So, you never know. Meta shifts can bring back old units, and meta shifts, of course, can just change the way we look at certain things, and change how certain strategies are favored. This may, of course, be annoying sometimes when, like, for example, Ether Raid's offense suddenly becomes a nightmare. But on the other hand, it could be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not all bad. I'll put it that way. The meta changes are not all bad. And in a lot of cases. And I will say, the very minimum, Fire Emblem Heroes is a lot more exciting now than it was in 2017.
Surprising.
Like, it's a lot more interesting
If I have to.
and a lot more dynamic than it used to be.
The one thing I don't want, however, is them doing things just because they didn't do it before. You know what I mean?
Well, they do that sometimes, to be fair.
They do that sometimes. That's why I'm like really worried about it. Because
Sometimes
there's,
I like unique, but yeah.
let's put it in perspective. They did what? What's that really shitty beast slot skill? Where it just drops some stats after combat.
Seals? The ones that
Yeah,
were
seal.
at launch?
Yeah, seal stuff.
Or Defiance?
Yeah, like it's like, hey, you don't have to go back to these things. Nobody's using, like, Ice is just like, but we haven't done it yet. Like, I just don't want them to do that.
I mean, Yeah, but I mean, technically speaking, Atrocity is just a mega buff seal in a certain sense, because it is a B slot that lowers.
Okay, that's a perf skill. That's different.
Well, yeah, but technically it is them coming back to it. It's just so much later and so much better.
Hey,
or
well,
like Sorter's Menace going to Sorter's Portent. We take the threatened skills, which were kind of bad, and were sadly put onto Sorter because that was admittedly short-sighted, and make them good again. Revisiting bad mechanics in a good way, like Gatekeeper's Obstruct, can be good. It can be interesting.
Okay, well, Gatekeeper, I think everybody just guessed it. It was either save your units or obstruct.
Well, yeah.
I remember my dream.
I'll agree with that. It was definitely predictable, but at the same time, taking a mechanic that the last time we got obstructors on Balbot, and before that, I don't remember. So, taking a mechanic that was largely just forgotten and giving it some new life in a good way, I think is actually really nice. When they actually understand how to make mechanics that they just forgot about good. Unfortunately, they also sometimes release new mechanics that never were gonna be good. Like when they release cantrips.
Yes.
Why?
And then they went back to cantrips for some reason, even though the units didn't really need it.
And then they almost immediately demoted cantrips. And then went back to 5-star on Nimdom.
I don't know.
We got... that part was weird.
Here's the treat.
Like, sometimes they just release mechanics and they fall completely flat. But sometimes they release them and they actually end up being pretty interesting. It's just, is that a res refined talk for me?
How did you know that?
The aura. Why?
This Takumi is just the definition of sadness.
Oh, you can tell it's an old one too because he has like the defense +1 seal. He's unmerged, non-resplendent. Oh, I'm
Chad,
so sorry, man.
I wanna tell you guys something. If you quit Fire Emblem Heroes, your shitty defense team will be fighting people till the end of time. Your heroes will be like this, fighting for the rest of the time.
They're just sad little time capsules.
Just pure sadness, yeah.
Especially when you see like Ares and you know now he has her fine and that guy probably will never experience it.
I'm a monster.
Yep.
What's weird is that he has that Summer Sylvain. It's like he just came back for Sylvain and left again.
Yeah, I think he came back for 3 houses and then left.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's fine, but... Yeah, these time capsules, they offer a nice glimpse back into what old meta was. Like, you can fight some really low-scoring teams and see stuff from 2017 meta.
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool, but it's also depressing.
Also, all his IVs are such atrocious things. Initiate seal speed 2. Nice. With minus speed plus defense. And obviously Dark Missile Chain is refined. I mean, man, this is just a bit depressing.
That was probably a 5-star default. That was probably he just pulled a 5-star Ares, and it just happened to be an okay IV.
I remember my dream. Okay.
Either that or he really wants that bonfire, which he didn't even use. Or, more likely, he didn't have a plan and he just kind of got units. Which is a thing. Yeah, it's funny, though, looking back on these.
Okay.
And looking back on how would we have looked back on some of this stuff then, like when these units were around.
Yeah.
And how we had to deal with them and how he struggled in some cases.
Return to FGO streaming and never come back.
I do plan on playing more Genshin and FGO going forward. I think for Faye, the only 2 days I can guarantee going forward are Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays for rush content, Tuesdays for hero views. Obviously, if there's like trailers and stuff, I'll cover it. But like the only 2 guaranteed days going forward would probably be Monday and Tuesdays. I want to play more Genshin. I want to play more FGO, and I want to play start more independent games or like games that you can finish a session. Or like you can make a video on it a lot easier, like
2 or 3 videos at most.
Yeah, like Danganronpa. Like that's probably the first game we're gonna play as a VTuber. Danganronpa. So I'm looking forward to doing that stuff in the future. Yes, also horror games, yeah. I don't really want to do horror games, but
Halloween's right around the corner.
But it's fitting. Oh my, well, the other thing is it okay for a vampire to be a pussy?
I think that's a good ironic twist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ironic, but I'm one of the people who like can't handle horror, but I can't stop looking at it. Like, I love horror, but it fucks me up. Like, I literally get nightmares. If I watch a horror movie, I will literally get nightmares. I will literally see the face of the monster, ghost, spirit, whatever the heck, in the darkness. It gets that bad for me. But I still love the shit out of it for some reason. It will literally... Look, I've said this before, chat. If we all go to a camping trip and we go into a cabin in the middle of the woods and the light goes out, I'm the first one to run out and run to the car. Like, I'm out of there. Everyone else would be like, Nims, you know, the lights just went out. It was a power. No, it's a mass killer. I'm not sticking around for this shit. So, yeah, no, this stuff really gets to me. I really believe in it after I watch it.
I mean, hey, if it's any consolation, back when I first discovered Sonic.exe, I laughed it off. Thought it was just kind of a little cliche and whatnot. But I still had nightmares about it for weeks.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
man.
It just gets to you.
But that's why I want to do it, because I want to get better at it. Because, like, over time, you guys will see me, like, become a man.
Aw. With sweet development. Character development.
Yeah. Just watch cat videos after you're done. What the... Do cat videos actually help? I have no idea.
I mean... Aw. I could already think about it and it makes me smile. Unless you're watching cat... I don't even want to know what cat horror is.
How do you even have cat horror? How can cats be scary?
I don't know if I want to hear the answer to that.
All right, guys, let's try to rush this battle. We're gonna call it night early because I already streamed Genshin earlier, and I'll be back tomorrow for rush content, the rest of the ether raids, and just battles, and then we'll have Fey Reddit. Yep.
And data mine.
And oh yeah, fuck yeah, data mine. So yeah, there's lots to do tomorrow.
Cat horror is just cats suffering, I
Makes me
guess.
sad.
I don't want to see a sad cat.
I don't either. Ever.
Actually, I've seen I get sent this GIF or a picture, emote of a cat crying. And I'm like, why?
They can't do that, so I'll just think about it that way. They can't do that.
Yeah. Cats don't seem like emotional beings at all, you know?
Well, they absolutely can be.
Yeah, I know, but usually they're so nonchalant about everything.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the cat. Some are, not.
Alright, this paladin has to really take this shit.
Yeah, I guess the TT
Oh,
banner
fuck.
will be on the data mine.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, we needed more time. Oh, well. Oh, well. I'll place the battle and then I'm gonna go. Alright, let's just raid somebody. Yeah, so tomorrow will be, TT as well. Or, sorry, data mine and, yeah.
Yeah. And then, most likely, Tuesday will be, announcement for the update.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Is the start of September. Yep, that's what it is. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I gotta make somebody else Feist leader, huh? Tally. Yeah, I guess. All right. Yeah, let's go raid somebody.
Okay. Oh, did we ever check the poll?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, we should supposed to check the poll. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot.
Oops. Here's a poll. You guys do that.
Alright, guys. We did, in fact, do a poll. Oh wow, it gives my email.
Well, I
Great.
better get going seriously, chat. Before I do, let me just say that I had a chance of staying tier 38 hard, but some guy decided to take the fight despite losing 2 units.
Don't worry, there's some 100 people on Twitch.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's already been leaked before, but whatever.
Yeah.
Will you pull a legendary hero banner? I don't know. By the way, I don't know what setting you changed, Frenzy, but yeah, now everyone's emails are up top. That's something that got mentioned to me before. But yeah, obviously I forgot to check this time. Will you pull in the legendary Makai hero banner? Yes, I'm going to try pulling for all of them on the banner. No, I'm saving my orbs on another banner. Yes, I'm going to pull for colorless. Yes, I'm going to pull for red. Yes, I'm going to pull for blue. Yes, I'm going to pull for green. And why is Frenzy on this poll? I mean, he told us he fell asleep. I'm just going to vote for this. Actually, no, I'll play it seriously. I'll vote for colorless. And 30 responses with 40% of you guys straight up saving your orbs. 30% going for colorless. 20% indicating why is Frenzy late, and the rest nobody really cares about. This surprises me not at all. Yeah, honestly, most people don't care about the banner. I'm sorry, Micaiah. It's like I can see
30% for colorless is solid enough.
Yeah, if you go for the banner, just go for colorless, and unfortunately, there's not much more to it.
Yep.
As a whole, anyways. But yeah, that's that. Oh, that's this quiet dude. Ledger Micaiah waiting room. You're gonna be waiting a long time. Let's raid him though. I'm gonna go to your house and steal your windows if you keep starting battles late. That's really aggressive. Wait a second. What was our raid message? You can't stay quiet anymore. Okay, that's super cringe. I'm sorry. Alright guys, everyone please take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, look out for the first full week of... well, also the name change sometime this week. I'll figure out the actual date for that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you guys take care. Good night.
Take care, everybody. Have a great night. See you later.
Can we please reach 69?
Please.
I would like to 69 him. Please. We are 5 away. Press 4 away. Please. 3 away. 3. Help 69.
Please.
Help 69. Please. Please. Help 69 him. Guys, 3 more. No. No. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. 2 more. No,
2
what
more.
the fuck?
What? No! No!
Yeah. 2 more.
Okay, we got a 2 back.
Oh my.
No, the dream.
Oh.
Tragedy.
Wait, dude, Nimious! Run.
Alright, good night.
Calm down, bro.
Have a good night.
Anyway,
Talk to you later.
How was your stream?
Yeah, take care.
And Kato.